like everybody's talking about it like it's so obvious. The rule's very clear. If you have decisive influence, you may need to consider this. I don't. I didn't. If I had decisive influence, I wouldn't have been trying to sell the club starting in June of 2024.
Texter is, after all, a minority shareholder at Palace, but also a majority shareholder at Lyon. So in his mind, the Eagles should be allowed in the competition. Simon Jordan, unsurprisingly, pulled no punches.
This is stupid from UEFA. This is a stupid set of governance, a stupid set of rules. If you don't want multi-club ownership, then don't allow it in the first place. If you've got documentation that details that the construct of a shareholders agreement or the principles of which they operate shows no decisive influence, then ignore the shareholding and look at the reality of what you're staring at. Palace should be in the Europa League. His financial contribution enabled Palace to sail through choppy waters.
Texter is in the process of selling his stake, but he did reveal that he initially wanted to buy a majority stake in Palace. So what does he think of current chairman Steve Parish then?
His ambition every year is to avoid relegation. Our ambition is to climb the table. Who thought we could go from bankruptcy to winning South America in 2.5 years down there? I mean, that was crazy.
We're expected to find out by the end of the week whether Palace will be allowed to compete in the Europa League. And Owen Farrell has been named on the bench alongside Marcus Smith for the Lions' final warm-up game against a combined Australia-New Zealand 15 this weekend. It's his 4th tour.
You know, he's, I suppose, lucky enough to play when he was very young, and you know, you need the stars to align. I would have thought, as far as that concerned, when your first one starts, I suppose it allows you to have a look in at that type of thing.
Remember, you can listen to that one live and exclusively on talkSPORT on Saturday morning.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Drive on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein, and look who I've got alongside me, officially now, my paddle co-star. It's Darren, by the way. It's Darren Bent.
It's Darren here, by the way. Darren Bent.
Play a bit of paddle, you and me?
Yeah, I'm like Michael Jackson. You like Jermaine. Or Tito.
Jermaine Pennant?
Nah, Tito.
Right, Tito, we've got a show for you today. We'll hear from former Crystal Palace co-owner John Texter as the Eagles edge closer to losing their spot in the Europa League. We'll also be asking whether you'd sell to your rivals as Spurs agree a deal with West Ham for Mohamed Kudus. Troy Deeney will be joining us live from New York to discuss the impact of João Pedro at Chelsea. Hopefully, Troy won't be wearing one of his kids' clothes. And we'll speak to former Wimbledon finalist Nick Kyrgios as we enter the business end of all things at SW19. On top of that, Adam Smith will be joining us for a roundup of the week's boxing news. And we'll ask Benty where his former teammate Luka Modric ranks in the list of great midfielders. And on top of that, we've got What's Happening Bent as well. This is Drive on talkSPORT. You can get involved by picking up the phone 03717 22 33 44.
And of course, it's the boot room, and I have a peach of a chat for you today. It's about boot. Jack. I'm not going to lie to you, though. Listen, I don't really moan about anything, right? Yeah? Anything?
Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you. Whoever's ever in charge of the camera, it was real close.
Yeah, a little bit too close for me. Zoom out on that. While you're zooming out, let's quickly cross back over to Sam Ellard. There's been a wicket. He can tell us more.
Yeah, first ball after the tea break. England have lost their third wicket. England 153 for 3. It's Ollie Pope, the man to be dismissed for 44, trying to drive Ravi Jadeja. The spinner took a thick outside edge. It's a really good take behind the stumps by Jurel, who's in only because Rishabh Pant injured himself in the afternoon session. So England didn't lose a wicket in the afternoon session, but first ball in the evening session, Ollie Pope goes for 44. Juru not out on 54, is now joined at the crease by his Yorkshire teammate Harry Brook. But the perfect start for India after tea. Jadeja's broken the third wicket partnership. England 153 for 3.
Thank you, Sam. We'll keep you up to date with anything that happens this afternoon. Yes, we had a day off yesterday. Or I had a day off. You were working.
Mm-hmm.
You can call it work. I had a day off. Feels like Monday today.
Yeah, because you said to me, how'd you have a good weekend? I was like,
Yeah, it's very bizarre. But I had a nice game of golf yesterday, and I had a game of paddle with you today. It was the first time ever that we teamed up, partnership, on the court.
Yep.
We played two guys, your mates.
Yeah,
right?
One of them, I know one of them, yeah.
Okay, you didn't know the other fella?
No.
All right. First time I've ever played.
Yeah, I can tell that. I could tell that.
We lost 4 sets, but we lost 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4.
Yeah, we got slapped.
So 2 more sets. What I said to you after the game, don't give me your analysis yet of me. Wait till we're on air. What do you make of it?
No, listen, I thought you were better. You were better than I expected you to be. I thought you were going to be horrific.
Why though? Why?
Because you don't look like a sportsman.
What are you talking about?
Like, listen, you
Listen,
you go to the gym some mornings.
Yeah.
You never put a picture up of you or a video up of you lifting
Yeah,
weights.
but you
or
know
running.
why? Because then people will criticise. Oh, is that what you're doing?
No, but you obviously you go into the gym, you take a picture of the weight on the floor, and then go back at where
Yeah,
you go.
because I don't want to be in it. I think people that post pictures of them in the gym look sweaty.
Okay, what's the point? You put a picture of a weight on the floor.
Because shout out David Lloyd. That's fine.
So basically, but I thought, what am I going to do with it?
What? Sorry, your analysis of everything is based on a picture I posted of a weight on the floor.
I finished it. So I thought you don't look like the most athletic. But
Whoa!
Can I finish my analysis? Right.
You're talking about don't look.
But yeah,
I've got the same build as Beckham.
No, there you go. But
I'm just saying, like, athletic.
You're better than I thought. And then some of the shots were good. Your forehand was good.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't move around the court though. That's one thing I've got to say.
You have to, mate. You do all that.
I'm running after every shot. I'm running after.
You're younger than me. You're like Kante. I'm the Pogba to your Kante.
Hey, that's funny. You kept going to be yours. That's what I give me.
Here's the thing: when the ball goes down, if people are playing paddle before, they're not. I'm talking about when the ball goes down the middle.
Yeah,
that's usually where a bit of chaos happens.
No, but that's me because it's my forehand. Right. But when they're lobbing it over your head, that's supposed to be your shot. But,
you kept coming over to my side of the court.
No, but
what you should have done.
You kept going yours.
No, I'll tell you why. Because you've heard the expression "put a name on it."
Yeah.
And quite early on, neither of us knew what either of us were doing. And I was waiting for your leadership. I was waiting for your sort of captaincy to jump in. And you said, Goldstein, move up with me, come back. Very quiet on the pitch. Very quiet.
I did a bit of it. But
you didn't. I wanted more, mate. I wanted more.
But
that's why I was quite vocal.
No, do you know why I didn't say anything? Because at first I thought, let me just assess the situation. But then the way you're going, yours, I'm having to cover behind you. Yeah. You don't come out the little square at the start next to the net.
I don't need to. It's a long way back.
I am drop shots. I'm there.
What are you talking about?
But no, listen, you're better than I thought.
Thank you.
But I enjoy playing with you.
That's nice. I never thought you'd say that.
Like if I play against a better pair, though, you will not be my partner.
If we took on, of course, if you and I took on Jordan and Gabby,
be a good game.
Yeah,
yeah,
be a great game.
We'd have to just pepper Gabby.
Okay,
that's what we, not Jordan. Pepper Gabby.
No, we can pepper Gabby every day. Though.
Well, no, I think we'd have a good chance.
All right. Well, we should get that. What are you doing?
Watching the tennis Sabalenka boy. She's on the ropes.
I know. Yeah, she's 5-3 down. Has the advantage though to go 5-4. We should get that game on. I enjoyed it. It was good.
All right. Plug in when I get back. I mean, plug in. Yeah.
You said I don't look athletic.
No, you don't.
What do I look like? What would my build be?
That you walk a lot.
And that's not a build.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
What is the build?
Well, some say you look after yourself. You obviously walk a lot.
That's what I look like. I look after. Okay, fine. But not athletic.
No.
By the way, the other geezer.
Oh my goodness, Ross.
He's a mountain, isn't he?
Big old unit.
He's a big old unit. Yeah. Quite annoying. The other fellow, can I just point out something? So the other fellow, what was the other? I don't remember the name.
I think his name was James. Okay. I don't know.
When we came out, said, well, you really hate Arsenal, don't you? And I'm like, no. And yesterday I was playing golf, and these slightly older guys were on the golf course, and they were waiting for us to tee off. And he went, "Where do I know your voice from?" And I went, "Oh, talkSPORT." And he went, "Yes, you hate Arsenal." Let me just point out to Arsenal fans, I don't hate Arsenal at all. It's Benty that I wind up because he's an Arsenal fan. So, like, the fact you've got Norgard over the line, well done to you, right? The fact you've got Kepa, well done to you. That's me taking the mickey out of Benty, not Arsenal. You just so happen to support Arsenal.
No, yes, you hate Arsenal.
No, I don't hate. I hate you supporting Arsenal. Yeah. I don't hate you, and I don't hate
you
Arsenal.
take Kepa and Norgard in your team?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would.
No.
You rather have Onana? I wouldn't.
What, over Kepa?
No chance.
Every day?
No, I wouldn't.
You're such a liar.
No, I wouldn't.
It's all in your life.
It's all my life.
No chance.
That's all my life.
No chance.
I'd rather Kepa than Onana. I'd rather Norgard than...
Go on.
Anyone you got in there.
No, absolutely not. He's not going to start Norgard anyway.
Who's your midfield?
We'll come to United later.
Yeah.
Bruno. We're going to start with Crystal Palace. Their European future is still up in the air. So, do you feel sorry for them?
Because the 10 minutes are up and the Eagles have landed it. Crystal Palace win the FA Cup. Today, that also brings them a passport to Europe.
I think it'd be really unfair on the Palace fans if they were to be kicked out of Europe.
There is this inherent
conflict that's there because of the multi-club situation.
It's what you dream of, particularly if you support one of the lesser lights, following your team on a European tour to all kinds of weird and wonderful places.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Crystal Palace, their hopes of staying in the Europa League, they've been dealt a big old blow after Lyon won their appeal against relegation to the French second division. Lyon now expected to keep their Europa place, which would likely see Palace relegated to the Conference League. Former Palace investor John Textor also held a place on the board of the French club Lyon, preventing both teams from competing in the same European competition. Well, he joined White and Jordan earlier on in the studio today, and he was asked whether he takes responsibility for the situation Palace find themselves in.
Well, I think we all do as owners, but...
No, you.
Oh, me? Well, look, I'll admit to not even thinking about the issue. Of course, I have to. But I also read the rule, so please read the rule yourself. Like, everybody's talking about it like it's so obvious. The rule's very clear. If you have decisive influence, you may need to consider this. I don't. I didn't. If I had decisive influence, I would have been trying to sell the club starting in June of 2024. And if UEFA wants to look what they're doing, if you have a multi-club problem, they say, well, sell off your interest or get out of governance. Well, I did. I hired an investment bank. I was already out.
I understand why he would be saying it, but I don't buy any of what he's saying. If you own over 40% of a club, you've got controlling interest. Whether or not you're there on a day-to-day basis making decisions, totally irrelevant. The rules are there in black and white, and it's complete negligence on behalf of the owners as the reason why they've been kicked out. If they're going to be kicked out, I feel so sorry for Crystal Palace fans.
Yeah, me too.
But rules are there for a reason, and the fact that they were overlooked, he didn't see them on time, they didn't think they were going to win the FA Cup. I mean, the list of excuses go on and on. Totally, sorry, Benny, totally irrelevant. There are rules written in place every single year. It's not a new thing. Palace knew, the owners knew, the fact it was overlooked, and now they find themselves on the cusp of being kicked out is just pure negligence and ignorance, maybe a bit of arrogance as well. The fact maybe they thought they could get away with it, but it's the fans that lose out, right? And the reason Palace will be, and the players, the reason the club will be kicked out of this competition ever that is purely because of people like John Tex. I don't know, John, have missed this and they've made a mistake.
The only thing I'd say is, I understand what you're saying, rules are rules, you're right. But I think the timing of when you had to kind of, put this request in, I think needs to be looked at. But
no, it does. But at the moment, it's March the 1st.
I get it, but I mean, you're talking about
but that's not an argument to have after you've missed it.
No, but I think it's a genuine argument because they didn't know they were going to win the FA Cup.
No, I know, but if you've got a deadline for something and you miss the deadline, you can't then go back and go, to be fair, the deadline was a little bit early. It's like, okay, but it's the deadline. No, it's therefore you got to abide by the rules.
I get it,
the rules.
But no. I think the big problem in it is definitely the timing of the window you've got to kind of because the FA Cup. I mean, what round were they in at that time when that deadline was there? You can't.
I totally agree with you, but the rules were there. Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Like the Oasis competition we're running, right? Yeah. I think it's finished now. It finished a couple of days ago. If we were running a competition and it was like tonight is the cut-off, and it's 6 months before the competition, and someone in 4 weeks goes, "Why are you closing the cut-off so early? It's only 6 months." We go, "Well, it is." Well, I didn't know. I thought you were going to run it for another couple of months. Well, tough. That's the rule. What's the point of a rule?
I know, I get all that, but I still think it's a little bit of a tough one because of the. It's a little bit of a tough one because.
Can you stop looking up there?
Sorry, that's why I know,
but you keep. You can't even talk properly. Right, can you turn the telly off?
No, it's finished. She's
right,
out.
Okay.
No, I just think for Crystal Palace, it was a wonderful achievement. The first time in their club's history to win that competition.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of negligence. I understand that, but also a little bit of they probably looked at the rule because they were so far away from when the actual FA Cup final was.
Yeah.
Someone probably missed it.
It wasn't just the FA Cup final. It was European football, right? And at the beginning of the season, Palace would have thought. I mean,
no, they wouldn't have.
We're getting to a stage now where nearly half the Premier League has got a chance of getting Premier League.
Palace, they will finish 12th.
Okay, if you're a club, in non-league, and you had no chance of going up, and you knew your stadium wasn't ready for Football League football, right? And for whatever reason, you just put a run like Leicester winning the Premier League, right? And you put a run of form together and you found yourself promoted into the fourth tier of English football.
Yep.
And the FA turned around and said, your ground's not fit for league football, right? Whose fault is that?
Yeah, I get it. It's the club's fault.
Club's fault.
But I get it. But I just don't think sometimes you can look up every small detail. Like if I like, there's going to be things where I'm supposed to hit deadlines and you miss it because of the finest of margins. Because it's almost for Palace. It was almost not. It wouldn't say irrelevant because they're a good side. He's built a really good side, Oliver Glasner. But how early the FA Cup was, I think the round they were in, they were nowhere near the final.
No, that's right. Everything you're saying, I agree with.
So it's almost a bit of guesswork. So as much as I blame Palace a little bit as well, I can understand that for the owner. I blame more so the people that are in charge of these rules because the cut-off point is way too early.
If it was Arsenal and qualification for the Champions League and it was March the 1st, the cut-off.
But you can't use Arsenal as an excuse because Arsenal are a team that's always in Europe. For Palace finished 12th every year. Me and you.
I know, but if you finish 7th, you get European football. So they're 5 places away from European football. I know, but come on.
Do you want me to read you how Palace have finished?
They're fine.
Do you know what I mean? So that's where maybe it's a little bit of negligence because you go...
Well, it is. It's total negligence.
That bit, I'm like...
I don't know John Textor, right? Unbelievable guest. How Simon got him in, I applaud Simon for getting fantastic, right? It's his fault.
Yeah.
100% his fault.
Yeah, I'll take that, but I do think there is a little bit of... I do think it's a little bit of both. Where and rightly so because you look at history. Yeah. History would suggest it wouldn't happen, but also that they've got to look at that cut-off point.
Yeah, but it's not the fault of the people that come up with the cut-off point. The cut-off point's been there for.
Well, I blame them as well because if they know football, they know the FA Cup is miles down the line.
Yeah, but it's not just an English rule, is it?
I understand that, but surely you've got to do it so it's across board.
Without a doubt, it needs to be looked at.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
But as things currently stand, it's March the 1st. They knew it was March the 1st. He had a controlling interest in more than one club. You can't do it.
Yeah, I understand. I get that.
I feel, look, as always, when things like this happen, it's the football fans that miss out, right?
Yeah.
So,
and the club. No, I think the club as well.
And the club. Okay, so we'll take calls from football fans, obviously Palace fans. How do you feel about that? And also another question I will ask when you phone up. Do you think that you have more chance of winning the conference if you are relegated into the conference? Do you think you have more chance of winning that? 03717 22 you would have noticed halfway through that chat that Bent's conversation was all over the place.
Yeah.
That's because his concentration was all over the place because there was big things happening at Wimbledon. Lisa O'Sullivan can tell us more.
Amanda Anisimova is into the ladies singles final. She has shot down the top seed Arina Sabalenka in a centre court sizzler 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. Big baseline battles from two well-matched semi-finalists. Heartbreak again for the Belarusian. She's still yet to make the final here. That's her third semi-final defeat. And it's 6 years since Anisimova, the 23-year-old, wowed the tennis world as a team sound sensation, making the French Open semi-final then. She's back at the top after time away from the sport, and now she'll play for the trophy.
Good work as always. There you go, big upset. We're talking about upsets as well. Palace fans are very upset. There is a huge possibility they won't be in the Europa League. They'll be relegated into the conference. What do you make of that? Who's to blame? And have you got more chance of winning the conference? Palace is where it's at right after this. 03717 22 Get your calls in. You can have your say on Drive on talkSPORT after this.
plays that villain role very well now. It's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
Oh, Jack's back. He's blowing the budget out of the water. He's Drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent, and Motorpoint. Thousands of cars, all unbeatable prices. Guaranteed. Head to motorpoint.co.uk for details.
So good. So good. I got you.
Still to come, we'll be joined by the voice of boxing, Adam Smith. Just quickly, Arsenal signed midfielder Christian Norgard from Brentford for £15 million.
Hey,
Well done,
so
mate.
you take that.
Team, you got Kepo flying, you are.
Hey, you forgot about Zubimendi, no?
No?
Yeah. Huh?
Man United want to host the 2035 Women's World Cup final in their new £100,000, 100,000 seater stadium.
Okay, ahead, is it?
That would be
where is that? Where is it?
God knows. Now we're taking your calls. Do you feel sorry for Crystal Palace? 03717223344.
You don't. I do.
Why? So why are you putting words in my mouth?
You don't.
One of the last sentences I said going into the last break. As always, it's the fans that lose out, and that's who I feel sorry for. Why are you putting words? Why are you trying to get haters on me?
Nah, because you don't.
Honestly,
you know about big club mentality.
No.
You are.
No. Why are you making stuff up?
It's true.
Absolute garbage. Alex is a Palace fan. Hello, Alex.
Hi, you all right?
I'm good, man. How are you today?
Yeah, good. Hot, sweaty.
Hot and what?
Hot and sweaty. I'm working in a penthouse suite with a load of windows.
I thought you say women. Go on, what have you got for me?
I think this deadline and stuff, it's all irrelevant because Textor doesn't have a controlling stake at Palace. You can say about how much he owns in the club, but everyone at Palace knows that Steve Parish makes all the decisions.
Yeah, but on paper he doesn't.
Yeah, he does, on paper.
No, Textor's got over 40%. I think it's 45%.
That's how many shares, but that doesn't mean anything.
Well, no, that means everything. Sadly, it means everything, Alex. That's the problem.
He said there was a document that he signed when he bought the shares, which states he has no say over any major decisions in the club.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. If you might sign a document saying you've got no control. Let me tell you, you put 45. Like Jim Ratcliffe, right, has got less than what is it, about 15% of Man United. He's making all the decisions. It doesn't matter.
No, yeah, because he's in control of football operations.
I know, but I'm saying if the Glazers all of a sudden turn around and said we're doing this, he's doing it.
You just proved my point. You just proved my point. The guy with not as many shares is the one in charge.
No, but what I'm saying is it doesn't matter who's making the decisions. It's all down to what's on paper.
No. It's all about who's making the decision. Surely that's who has influence.
No,
it's their influence.
No, it's not.
Has no influence.
But you're arguing with rules that are written down in stone at the moment, Alex. I mean, we're talking about facts, right?
Well, we'll see at the end. You can ring me back up after when we're in the Europa League and go, you was right, Alex, I was wrong.
Yeah, sorry, I don't understand how the conversation's got here. So currently, it looks like because John Textor had over 40% of Palace, you're going to get relegated into the conference because Leon haven't. These are the facts we're dealing with. It's not what you think.
Europa League haven't said that. UEFA haven't said that, have they?
No, but that's where it's going, right?
No, I don't think it will go there.
Okay, what are all the news articles about when they talk about Palace at the moment?
They're investigating it to see if he does have controlling influence.
Right.
They'll decide that he hasn't, and then we'll be in the Europa League, and that's what'll happen.
Okay, well, if that's the case, happy days. But we're asking the question: if that's not the case, then what? That's the question we're asking, which is the question everyone is asking in football at the moment, right?
Yeah, because it's off season and there's nothing else to talk about.
Okay. I don't know where to go, Al. I mean, this is the problem that we're looking at every time you open a newspaper and turn on the telly, that there's question marks as to whether or not Palace will be kicked out of the Europa League. Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah, the people are talking about it, and of course they're going to talk about it. It's a load of nonsense, I think. The amount of clubs that break rules and they get these stupid fines, like Chelsea has just got fined for breaking financial rules. Forest are all over the place. Like Leon, if Leon get in Europa League for the amount of financial trouble they've been in and stuff, and Palace, who run the club really well, get thrown out, then it's just a joke, really, isn't it?
Okay. I don't think Alex really understood what we were trying to ask.
Looking over there.
No, but,
I'm rattled again, are we?
Why are you doing that? Of course I'm not rattled.
Love it when you're rattled.
I'm so not rattled. I was rattled the other day when you said I wasn't. I said I wasn't. I'm not rattled at all. I just don't understand what the point he was trying to make.
No, but I can understand what the point he's trying to make, because he's saying that John Texter. Why keep saying that? John Texter. I didn't say it again, right?
Don't get rattled, sir.
Right, he doesn't have control in.
He's got over 40%.
I get it, but if he's not in control of what's going on, but it should mean something.
It's very easy to say, "Oh, I don't have control."
No, but if you sign a legal document that says that you're not in control of it,
I haven't seen it. I don't know who.
That's the thing.
I don't know who that document is between.
Okay, but if there's a legal document that says
legal from whose perspective?
Like lawyers,
John's,
John and the legal team, everyone. So it's official, right? And Premier League got the contract. Will your views change if even if it says that he's not got a controlling interest in the club?
If the UEFA rules are you can't have, for argument's sake, 40% of more than one club, and he has bought shares in a club,
even though he's got nothing to do with day-to-day operations.
I'm just going by the rules. This is not my view. If they're the rules and he's broken them, then that's the problem. That's what we're looking at. Not whether or not you got control. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but controlling interest is a big part.
Well, you put money into a club, right?
Yeah.
Well, that must control something to do with it. That must make Palace better.
No, but you don't have a board of directors for that.
No, I know, but has he invested in the club?
Yes, I get it, but why would you invest in a club and then sign over all the?
No, but has he invested in the club?
Yeah.
And what will they do with his money?
It's up to them.
Make the club better?
It's up to Steve Parish.
Will they make the club better?
I mean,
I assume with his money they'll make Crystal Palace better. Mm-hmm. That's what you do as an investor. You want a return on your income, right? And so if Palace are going to be better, that means they win things like the FA Cup.
You want them out?
No, I don't want them out at all. But you understand what people invest for, right? I think there has been more news in the cricket. I'm just looking at it now. Rather than me look up, let's get an expert's view, shall we? Where are we at? What's happening in the cricket?
You are right, we've lost another wicket. England 172 for 4. They win the whole of the afternoon session without losing any wickets, but England have lost 2 wickets in the first half an hour here in the evening session. Harry Brook gone for 11. Bumrah, the bowler, a ball that angles into Harry Brook and just beat him for pace. The ball crashing into his off stump. So Brook's gone for 11. Joe Root still not out the crease on 62, and the England captain Ben Stokes short runs has just arrived. India with 2 quick wickets after tea. England 172 for 4.
We'll take more calls from Palace fans throughout today's show. Still to come, we'll also be joined by the voice of boxing, Adam Smith. First, it's time for no Googling. After it was confirmed that Chelsea will play PSG in the final of the Club World Cup, we want to know who's the highest scoring Frenchman in Chelsea's history. Who's the highest scoring Frenchman in Chelsea's history? Okay, the answer to that, and maybe a big old clue as well, all coming up live and drive on talkSPORT after this.
Crystal Palace's place in the Europa League still in limbo, the man at the centre of the storm, John Textor, has given his side of the multi-club ownership story live on talkSPORT. It surrounds a UEFA deadline to sell being missed back in March, but he's clear that he believes a breach has not taken place.
The rule's very clear. If you have decisive influence, you may need to consider this. I don't. I didn't. If I had decisive influence, I wouldn't have been trying to sell the club starting in June of 2024.
Textor is, after all, a minority shareholder at Palace, but also a majority shareholder at Lyon. So in his mind, the Eagles should be allowed in the competition. Simon Jordan, unsurprisingly, pulled no punches.
This is stupid from UEFA. This is a stupid set of governance, a stupid set of rules. If you don't want multi-club ownership, then don't allow it in the first place. Palace should be in the Europa League. His financial contribution enabled Palace to sail through choppy waters.
We're expected to find out by the end of the week whether Palace will be allowed to compete in the Europa League. And Owen Farrell has been named on the bench alongside Marcus Smith for the Lions' final warm-up game against a combined Australia-New Zealand 15 this weekend. It's his fourth tour.
You know, he's I suppose lucky enough to play when he was very young, and you need the stars to align, I would have thought, as far as that concerned. When your first one starts, I suppose it allows you to have a look in at that type of thing.
Remember, you can listen to that one live and exclusively on talkSPORT on Saturday morning.
Don't talk yet, don't talk. There's a little gap where you talk. Don't talk yet, alright? Wait till you're going to ruin the gap, otherwise you'll ruin the gap.
Don't call it a comeback.
I've been there for years. Who's saying that?
Hello, Cool J.
Good tune.
Mount Rushmore.
What?
I think he'd be on my Mount Rushmore.
For what? What's your Mount Rushmore of?
Hip hop artist.
Oh, I'd tread very carefully on that one.
Why? No,
go on, who are you going for?
On my Mount Rushmore?
Yeah.
So there'd be LL.
LL Cool
Jay-Z.
J. Yeah. LL Jay-Z.
LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Jay-Z.
Eminem?
No.
You're not sticking him on?
No.
Mate.
Tupac, Biggie, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll have to come back to the other two.
Okay, alright. Yeah, can't wait for that.
Kendrick.
Come on, Kendrick Lamar. I've seen him in concert. Before the break, I asked the question. Look, you're thinking about it now, aren't you? Forget it, Darren. It's gone.
Right.
Darren. Who's the highest scoring Frenchman in Chelsea's history?
Nicolas Anelka.
Trebian. How many goals?
Prem.
Oh, it just says highest scoring Frenchman in the history.
70.
59.
Okay, nice.
Was he underrated?
So good.
I think he was underrated, wasn't he? Would you get $500,000 went for 22?
Yeah. Bought the training ground.
Bought the training ground.
Bought the area.
I hate that.
Right.
Saying that. You know, that's up there with people when you go, is it Tuesday today? And people go, all day. I hate that.
No, that's true. So we sold Anelka to buy the training ground in Thierry. And Wenger did it.
Well done. How many times you on the league then?
You won any time recently?
Still to come, we'll be asking if it's acceptable to sell a player to your rivals. But time for this.
There's a real feeling that this is the best versus the best.
White's lost control. White has lost control completely.
How many more do you want?
Lift off for AJ!
This is The Voice.
Yes! Time for The Voice, our weekly feature, where we join live from New York by the voice of boxing, Adam Smith, to take a look at the week's biggest stories, I should say. Smudger, good to see you. Is that Times Square in the background?
It is a very hot, humid and busy Times Square. A lot of sport happening over here. I know it's Wimbledon back there. We've got so much here with the boxing over the weekend, the Club World Cup final as well. So, New York, very much the place to be.
Right, listen, we've got loads to talk to you about. Thanks so much, as always, for coming on. Let's start off by looking ahead to a fight which takes place in New York this weekend, which is, of course, why you're there, Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano. They square off for a third time. For those who don't know, just tell us a bit more about this fight. How big is this fight?
It's a huge fight. There was a massive press conference at Madison Square Garden Theatre last night. And Nakisa and Jake Paul from MVP were saying this is a trilogy that's going to go down in history. And I think they're right. We've had, obviously, Ali Frazier's, which started in the Garden, and the Morales Barreras, the Gatti Wars, in recent times, of course, the likes of Fury and Wilder. But this is a trilogy of the women, and it's the best in the world. The multi-weight champion Amanda Serrano from here, from Puerto Rico and New York, and Katie Taylor, who, in my opinion, is the greatest female, if not one of the greatest fighters of all time to lace them up, the jewel from Ireland. And they've had two astonishing fights already, one in New York, one on the support to the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight card in Netflix. Stole the show that night, and Netflix are going again. And not only is it Katie and Amanda chopping the bill, but it's a host of the best women in the world on it, like Savannah Marshall, Ellie Scottney, Chantel Cameron. It's absolutely brilliant. Alicia Baumgardner as well. It's a fantastic night for women. It's a fantastic night for New York. And Katie and Amanda, it's 2-0 to Katie, but it's controversially 2-0. And they've given us 20 rounds of the most thrilling action in recent times. And no doubt they will just start off where they left off. It's a real personal fight too.
Yes, Mudge, I currently have it 1-1. And you're right, it was controversial, the first two fights. Why do you think it was so controversial? And how do you think Katie Taylor got the decision in the end?
I think it was razor thin both times because they're both as good as each other in many ways. I mean, Katie, more of a standout as an amateur, first lacing them up at the age of 10, winning so many worlds, so many Europeans, that Olympic gold in London, of course. But Amanda Serrano, brilliant as well. And she's started off at the lighter weight, so she's come up through, which is all credit to her for taking on Katie in the first place. I thought Katie won the first fight. I was actually in Vegas that night. I wasn't in the Garden. We were calling the Shakur Stevenson fight over in Vegas, who's actually fighting on Saturday here. But Katie, that first fight was incredible, blew the roof off the Garden. The second fight I thought was even better, but I did think Amanda nicked the second fight. So for me, like you, Darren, you know your stuff. It's one apiece. I think this is the rubber. But Katie's adamant that she won both. She's adamant that it's 2-0. That's what the judges said. And she's going for this because she loves challenges. And obviously she's getting a huge payday, which is absolutely right. Finally, the women are getting what they deserve. And then there's a talk potentially of a Chantel Cameron trilogy, maybe even in Croke Park to finish Katie's career. But first things first, Friday night here, it's Taylor Serrano 3.
Smart, before we move on, Times Square, I'm pretty sure it was Ryan Garcia, but if I'm wrong, you'll correct me. There was a fight recently where they closed Times Square down. Did you go to that? I just wonder what it was. It must have been quite eerie if you did. Were you there for that one?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't actually there for that one, but it was here right behind me.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. Wasn't the greatest fight night. The action didn't live up to it, but the iconic location here. And then the Ring Magazine are going to the Louis Armstrong Centre, the tennis centre, where the US Open's going to be in a few weeks on Saturday night. That's Hamza Shiraz and Edgar Berlanga. Huge fight card there. So it's a double header in New York this weekend. But yeah, they're trying the Ring to go to these venues. They're talking about possibly Alcatraz and others. But yes, Times Square, they shut it down, and visually it looked amazing. And it's fantastic what's happening in boxing now. All of these big moves.
Yeah, listen, we'll stay with the fight you just touched on ever so briefly. Hamza Shiraz also fights this weekend in New York. What sort of fight can we expect from this one?
I think it's a really good fight, and it's a really important fight for Hamza. He's obviously a darling of Turkey Al-Sheikh. He's been an ambassador for Riyadh season, but he wasn't good last time against Carlos Adames at middleweight. I thought he lost that fight out in Riyadh. He's rebuilt. He's changed his trainer. He's gone to Andy Lee, who's one of the hottest ornament in the business, of course, guiding Joe Parker and Ben Whittaker these days as well. So that'll be interesting to see how he changes Hamza. He's up in weight at super middleweight, and he's in with this Carlos Berlanga, who's a real hard nut. He's a mad character from New York. He's got the bit between his teeth. He's only ever lost to Canelo, so he's a really dangerous fighter to take on. It's a cracking top of the bill alongside that Shakur Stevenson and William Zabeda. both unbeaten. So it's a fabulous match. And Alberto Puello as well, the WBC super lightweight champion, is on the card. And Dalton Smith will be over watching that because he's mandatory for that title. So that's a sizzler on Saturday night after the females in the Garden on Friday.
I should point out, just before Benny takes over, Hamza Shiraz should be on our show at some stage today as well. So boxing fans, stick around for that.
If Hamza was to beat, as you said, Berlanga, how far do you think he's off a real step up and maybe even a world title shot? I know they really like him. I mean, he's got dynamite in both hands as well. How good is he, and how far do you think he is off a world title shot?
I think he's very good, Darren, and I was disappointed with his performance against Carlos Adames. I thought he was going to become a world champion that night. He said he injured his hand early. I thought he was a little negative with his tactics, and maybe he just needed the experience. It was a step up for him, but he's had that now. And now all eyes are on him. I think if he puts in a good performance against Berlanga, and I think he'll listen to Andy, and I think he'll box this time, and I think he'll box aggressively. I think he'll look good on Saturday night. And if he does look good, then the world's his oyster. I mean, he's 26, but I think they can fast track him into some really, really big fights. So, yeah. The most important thing is Turki Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, really likes Hamza Shiraz, and you can't not like him. He's a wonderful guy outside of the ring and is exciting in it. But he needs to perform at this level. Saturday night is a crucial night for him.
Talking of crucial nights, the following weekend at Wembley sees Alexander Usyk take on Daniel Dubois. Fight you can hear live on talkSPORT. I mean, everyone who's a boxing fan on the planet must be so excited. I know I am. I know Benny is as well. You're going to be ringside as well. Usually when we get to this close to a big fight, I sort of have my mind set on who's going to win it. I just don't know with this one. If Daniel Dubois gets in early, I think he could take him out. But then all of a sudden you start talking about Alexander Usyk. Some people talk about how great he's compared to some of the best we've ever seen at heavyweight. And all of a sudden, you know, that thought process sounds a little bit stupid. Where are you sat on this one, Adam?
Well, that's the intrigue, isn't it? First you have heavyweight boxing, and then of Daniel Dubois, who was written off when he lost to Joe Joyce again with Usyk a couple of years ago. But the momentum he's had is phenomenal. The Jarrell Miller win, the Hrgovic win, and of course the big one, demolishing Anthony Joshua in front of 96,000 at Wembley. And he's back there at the National Stadium next week. He'll never have a better chance of beating Alexander Usyk, but no professional is yet to do that. That is the problem. And Usyk is so good in rematches. I've not seen any decline in Alexander. I thought he got better and better in the Fury second fight. So I expect Usyk to find a way, but Dubois can hurt him. Maybe he can hurt him to the body. And look, if he believes like he did against Joshua and he's tunnel vision and he believes he won't be denied on July the 19th, you never know. If he wins, it's one of the great wins in British fight history. But if he loses, you can understand it's Alexander Usyk against him. So in a way, there's nothing to lose for Dubois. He's got to go for it. But I understand where you are, Spencer and Simon. I know fancy Dubois heavily. They think it's timing, which is so important in boxing. But it is about levels as well. And I wonder if Usyk just is that elite fighter of this generation. So we'll see. Can't wait for it.
We kind of, just quickly before I let you go, me and Benny were having a chat, I think it was last week, about Alexander Usyk. And I was saying that a lot of people in boxing, like yourself, who know, well, everything, they class Alexander Usyk as one of the greatest ever at heavyweight. And then me and Benny were rattling off names from like Joe Louis to Lennox Lewis to Mike Tyson to Evander Holyfield. And all of a sudden, when you rattle off the list, he doesn't really come into the top 5 in our world. How highly, it's such a difficult question, but when you look back at all the great heavyweight boxers...
Ali.
Oh, I forgot Muhammad Ali. God dear. In your mind, where is Alexander Usyk?
You ask me these tricky questions like my Mount Rushmore. You're very good, Andy. And listen, we could rattle on for hours about this. It's a huge debate. Who would fight who? Would Ali beat Fury? Would Fury beat Mike Tyson in his prime? All those sort of things. Where would AJ be? For me, Lennox Lewis is our greatest heavyweight from Britain. Tyson Fury and AJ have had a great time this generation. But Alexander Usyk, what he's done, being a sort of natural light heavyweight, conquering the cruiserweight world and then conquering the heavyweight world and beating everyone of his era, he can't do any more. So how would he do against the others? It's always going to be tricky and subjective. But in my mind, you've got to put Alexander Usyk in the top 5-10 fighters in history, full stop. Wow. So whether it's a heavyweight or cruiserweight or just pound for pound list, Alexander Usyk, if he beats Dubois and say he goes on to retire undefeated, has got to be seen as one of the greatest fighters, top 10 ever.
Wow.
Okay. Listen, talking of top 10, your top one, Smarter for Boxing. Thanks so much for your time. Have a wonderful week. Weekend. We're coming to the end of the week, but thanks so much for your time. We'll see you in a bit.
Cheers, Marge.
See you next Tuesday. Bye now.
Thanks, man. Remember, Edgar... Can't even make that gag now, yeah. They headline a stat card from New York with Shakur Stevenson defending his WBC lightweight title against William against his opponent. This Sunday, live on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
I think it's William Zapida, is that how you say
it?
Yeah. Okay, all right. I'll tell you what, every single weekend now, like you got this weekend in New York, right? Live on DAZN, nuts, right? Unbelievable. Next weekend you got Dubois.
I can't
Never see. Back in my day, right, and my days before your day, it was like once every 4 months.
Yeah, now
all of a sudden it'll be like, right, don't forget, in 3 months' time on a Saturday morning at 2 a.m, Mike Tyson's fighting. It'll be that.
Turkey had a shake and he brought your name.
Yeah, fantastic. We've got loads coming up. By the way, if you want to send in a WhatsApp, Banter, you can. 03717223344. Voice note out. Start with whatever. Leave your name on any question. If you know what I'm talking about, you can do that now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then I'll explain a bit later on. But when we come back from 5, we'll be talking about the fact that Spurs look like they're going to get the signing of Mohamed Kudus from West Ham. So West Ham and Spurs fans, who's getting the better deal? And also, should you ever deal with the enemy? 03717223344. Lots coming up on today's Drive Time show on talkSPORT.
Plays that villain role very well now. It's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent at Motor Point, Newcastle. Same day drive away available on all cars. Book a test drive today. Still to come. We'll be joined live from New York by former Premier League striker Troy Deeney.
He's still there, is he?
Apparently, it must be terrible for him, right? Shopping around for baby gaps, seeing he can get more clothes. Just quickly, Owen Farrell has been named on the bench for the British and Irish Lions' final warm-up match before the test against Australia. Arsenal have made a formal approach to Chelsea for winger Noni Madueke. Go on, Arsenal. Get him. Get that deal done if there's anything about you. Right, we're into the business end. Well and truly of Wimbledon watching. For talkSPORT is Lisa O'Sullivan.
After Amanda Anisimova booked her first trip to the ladies' singles final at Wimbledon, Iga Swiatek and Belinda Bencic are just about to battle it out for the right to face her. The final on Saturday afternoon at the new time of 4 p.m. in time for tea will see debutante finalists on both sides of the net and a brand new name on the trophy. Bencic never made it past the fourth round before this championships, and even Iga Swiatek hadn't made it past the quarters despite spending more than 100 weeks at world number one. It's going to be tight. Swiatek is the favourite. We're ready to play.
Need me on that call. Showing you how to do a forehand. Goldstein.
One of the ball boys.
Huh?
One of the ball boys.
Impressed, didn't I?
What?
Pressure with my forehand. You said that, my smash as well. The old Jimmy Connors.
No, the sound was funny.
Nothing I can do about that. It just happens.
When I first heard you go, I thought, what's going on now?
Yeah, it's what Jimmy Connors used to do. Right, it's the final day of the third test between England and India at Lord's. Watching for talkSPORT is Samuel Ellard.
England 193 for 4. It's been a fascinating day of Test match cricket. England have lost 2 wickets in quick succession twice today. They were 43 without a loss. That quickly became 44 for 2 earlier on in the day when both openers went out. England didn't lose a wicket in the afternoon session. Pope and Root putting on over 100 for the third wicket partnership. Then England lost 2 wickets in 5 overs after tea. Ollie Pope going for 44, playing a really rash drive off the bowling of Ravi Jadeja, edged behind, caught by Dhruv Jurel, who's keeping on for the injured Rishabh Pant, and then Harry Brook was bowled an absolute beauty by Jasprit Bumrah, a ball that angled into Harry Brook, beat him on the inside edge and smashed into his off stump. Joe Root was looking really good. He's not out on 70. The England captain Ben Stokes has 13 runs to his name. He hasn't hit a Test match 100 in 2 years and has been a little bit short of runs. The game of the moment with England winning the toss and choosing to bat first this morning in blue skies here at Lord's is nicely poised. We've got an hour and a half left of day one. England 195 for 4.
As long as Rooty stays there, we'll be okay.
Told you, mate.
I like Root and Stokes together, actually.
Yes,
nearly a ton between the two.
It's a big wicket this. If they can get one of these gone.
Yeah, you want to keep Root there for, well, obviously, as long as you want.
As long as possible.
Talk to superstars. Luka Modric finally played his final game for Real Madrid. Their defeat to PSG. God, they got whooped, didn't they, last night? In the Club World Cup brings his 13-year stay at the club to an end. He made 597 appearances for the club, winning 28 trophies in the process, including 6 Champions Leagues and 4 domestic.
Has he got AC Milan?
I don't know.
I think he's got AC Milan.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
He, of course, won the Ballon d'Or in 2018. When he went there, he won 28 trophies. I think I'm right in saying he's the most decorated player.
Yeah.
Right? When he went there, they hated him.
Well, you know what's mad? Sorry. I know.
I'm right.
Yeah.
They thought he was one of the worst players ever.
In fact, first season he got voted one of the worst signings ever, right?
Yeah.
But when he came on last night, Danny Carvajal, he's won 6 Champions Leagues.
I know.
6! I mean, that is nuts. But no, Modric,
He's won 6 as well, Luka.
What a player. I mean, he has been absolutely phenomenal. What a footballer. I remember when he first got rocked up at Tottenham, his touch. I remember Harry was playing him wide left for a bit as well. You're like, what? But in terms of controlling possession, the outside of the boot, the technique, touch, vision.
I know it's going to sound silly. Actually, it's going to sound. I was going to say, does he get into Tottenham's greatest ever 11? But then you've got Hoddle and Gascoigne in the middle.
But that's different because I don't think you ever saw the real best of him until you got to. It's different like Ronaldo and Real Madrid and Man United. He won the Ballon d'Or at United, so there's an argument he could get into it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, he was phenomenal at Tottenham, Luka Modric, but you saw the real best of him at Real Madrid, of course. But yeah, he's definitely the best player that I played with. Just one of those where you, even in possession, you think, right, I'm going to try and press him from behind on the right-hand side. It'll just flip it to the left and go that way. And his first couple of yards, he could just drive away with the ball. Yeah, top player. And a really, really nice guy as well.
So you were both signed on the same day?
No, he wasn't part of it.
Oh, that was Bale, wasn't it?
Bale and Yunus Kabul.
And you? Okay, but you mix with Luka Modric?
Yeah, cool, yeah.
Quiet?
Nice.
He looks quiet.
Yeah, him and Vedran Korluka spent a lot of time together. Croatia.
Did you ever see that Ballon d'Or player? Did you ever look at him?
Oh, no, yeah. You saw the ability there. Like, every training session. Like, you go, wow.
Oh, really? Even then?
He's touch, everything. Like, he just possession, could get himself out of any situation.
Yeah.
Incredible.
They've had some unbelievable players. I mean, look at him and Bale in the same Spurs team.
Yeah.
Were they in the same Spurs team? They must have been,
of
right?
course they were, yeah.
Yeah,
and they both ended up at Madrid.
That's frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? That is insane to think.
But Bale was just turned into an animal, didn't he?
Yeah.
Do
you reckon if Spurs would have kept Modric and Bale, they would have won.
And Kane.
And Kane, right?
Mm.
They wouldn't, the overlap was too big, right? Oh no, Modric would
have played with Kane.
Yeah, and Bale.
Oh, actually, he might not have actually. No,
Yeah.
he'd have missed him. Kane would have been young.
No, but I'm saying but Kane left Spurs 2 years ago, and Modric is still playing. So if Spurs would have kept Modric, he would have been there with Kane.
Yeah, but it would have slowed down by then.
No, I know, but if Modric, Kane, and Bale
in their pomp,
would Spurs win the league?
And the mixed Dele Alli in that when he was there, Christian Eriksen, these boys in their pomp, Dembele in there, Parker,
and the back four,
yeah,
Vertonghen and
they've had some good players.
Out of it, yeah.
Walker,
Rose,
Danny Rose.
Would they win the league?
They don't win the league, but I mean they got close, come second a couple of times on the potch.
Yeah. Frightening, isn't it? It's unbelievable players.
Yeah.
In fact, when we come back, we'll talk a bit of Spurs and West Ham. Mohamed Kudus looks like he's on his way to around about, 55, 60 million pounds. Who's got the better deal there out to West Ham or Spurs? And also, football fans, what do you make about selling to the enemy? West Ham are doing it with Spurs. I mean, I can't imagine selling a Man United player. I mean, it's bad enough when Tevez went to Man City.
But Liverpool.
What?
No, but Liverpool's a big rival, isn't it?
Yeah, but I can't imagine letting a player go to Liverpool. Do you remember Gabriel Heinze wanted to leave and go to Liverpool? And Fergie was like that.
He went to Liverpool, though, didn't he, in the end? Did Gabriel Heinze play for Liverpool? Or have I made that up?
I think you've made that up.
I think you're right.
I think you've made that up. But he wanted to go and Fergie stopped it, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be asking whether or not you should be allowed to go to the enemy. West Ham and Spurs fans, how are you feeling about that deal? 03717 223344 is the number to dial. Have you got the answer to that?
No, from you lot, he went Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Which ain't bad.
It's not bad at all, is it?
No.
And now, where is he now?
I work for the enemy.
Yeah.
I always loved him.
See, vote for the enemy. 03717 223344. West Ham and Spurs chat right after this, live and drive on talkSPORT.
With Crystal Palace's place in the Europa League still in limbo, the man at the centre of the storm, John Textor, has given his side of the multi-club ownership story live on talkSPORT. It surrounds a UEFA deadline to sell being missed back in March, but he's clear that he believes a breach has not taken place.
I'll admit to not even thinking about the issue. Of course, I have to. But I also read the rule, so please read the rule yourself. Like, everybody's talking about it like it's so obvious. The rule's very clear. If you have decisive influence, you may need to consider this. I don't. I didn't. If I had decisive influence, I wouldn't have been trying to sell the club starting in June of 2024.
Textor is, after all, a minority shareholder at Palace, but also a majority shareholder at Lyon. So in his mind, the Eagles should be allowed in the competition. Simon Jordan, unsurprisingly, pulled no punches.
This is stupid from UEFA. This is a stupid set of governance, a stupid set of rules. If you don't want multi-club ownership, then don't allow it in the first place. If you've got documentation that details that the construct of a shareholders agreement or the principles of which they operate shows no decisive influence, then ignore the shareholding and look at the reality of what you're staring at. Palace should be in the Europa League. His financial contribution enabled Palace to sail through choppy waters.
Textor is in the process of selling his stake, but he did reveal that he initially wanted to buy a majority stake in Palace. So what does he think of current chairman Steve Parish then?
His ambition every year is to avoid relegation. Our ambition is to climb the table. Who thought we could go from bankruptcy to winning South America in 2.5 years down there? I mean, that was crazy.
We're expected to find out by the end of the week whether Palace will be allowed to compete in the Europa League. And Owen Farrell has been named on the bench alongside Marcus Smith for the Lions' final warm-up game against a combined Australia-New Zealand 15 this weekend. It's his 4th tour.
You know, he's, I suppose, lucky enough to play when he was very young, and you know, you need the stars to align. I would have thought, as far as that concerned, when your first one starts, I suppose it allows you to have a look at that type of thing.
Remember, you can listen to that one live and exclusively on talkSPORT on Saturday morning.
Drive, hour number 2 on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein. Thingamajig over there, Darren Bent.
Because you don't look like a sportsman.
Oh, yeah, I'm not happy with that.
Jack, you're right there.
But do you know what? Nor do you.
I do.
You don't. I look like a sportsman.
You don't, mate.
Look at Darren Anderton. I've got that kind of build,
No,
right?
you haven't. I told you look like someone who walks a lot. Scooter Frank.
What's that even? Oi, told you about Dr. Scooter Frank.
What about him?
Dr. Scooter Frank.
Yeah, he's a rat.
Oi! Still alive.
Rat Frank.
Still.
Hey, you're better than that.
Still to come. We'll be hearing your voice notes in happening, Benty. But now, is it ever acceptable to sell to your rivals?
No ball into the box. Kudus shoots this time. He's not going to miss. It's into the top corner, and they lead by a goal to nil. West Ham United.
And we understand that Spurs have agreed a deal worth around £55 million to sign Mohamed Kudus from West Ham. The medical is set for Thursday, and that'll be a really significant signing.
He's got bags of ability, Andy. There's no doubt in his ability. You know, when I see him up. I don't know. I know 1 or 2 people that sort of around the place at West Ham. I think there are question marks over him.
It was a significant drop-off, and I think that makes him a little bit sellable.
Yeah.
And then once you get to that part, but it's just the fact that he's going to a rival club.
Yes, talkSPORT understands that Spurs have agreed a deal worth around £55 million for West Ham's Mohamed Kudus, with the medical taking place today. Scored 5 goals, got 4 assists in 35 appearances in all comps last season, despite not having his best campaign. Many West Ham fans aren't happy with the fact that they're selling to Tottenham. Former West Ham striker Dean Ashton was on co-com's duty for talkSPORT last night, and he couldn't understand the decision to do business with a rival.
It's a strange one. I think I'd love to really know, first of all, what Graham Potter feels about it, because he is a terrific talent, and on his day I think he's unplayable at times. The way he can keep the ball, the way he can dribble, he's one of the best in the Premier League at that. His numbers have dropped significantly this season compared to his first season, which is a worry, and you worry about whether that is a mentality issue, an attitude issue, or whether the manager just feels like actually he wants to have a player in his squad that he can mould a little bit more to what he likes. But it's decent money. It just won't go down well when you're selling one of your best players to Tottenham if you're a West Ham supporter.
We'll talk about the fact whether or not you should sell to a rival in just a sec. And you can have your say, by the way, 03717 223344. Is the sale making West Ham a lot weaker and Spurs a lot stronger?
Yeah, you'd say so, because he's a good player. I agree with what Dean said there. Drop-off was quite significant last season. Didn't really show any consistency last year. But... definitely. You're taking one of your best players away. Like when I think about West Ham, like for me, Jared Bowen's their best player. He's vital that he doesn't go. But him, obviously the Paquetá situation, Mohamed Kudus. I just think with Graham Potter, I wouldn't say that he did an amazing job when he got to West Ham, right? So
he didn't.
Right. So you want to start this season like on the front foot, get some players in, and go from there. And you're losing one of your best. So you probably have to say that Spurs are probably getting the better end of this deal. I still think the money was at around 50 million.
55.
It feels a lot. It feels a lot, but there's no doubt in there's potential there, because he is a really, really, really good player. I mean, he's only 24 years old as well, so there's still room for growth. But yeah, I've got no doubt. So effectively, Spurs are going to West Ham and taking one of their best players.
Yeah, and what do you make of that? Not just the fact that Spurs are going to a club and getting one of their best players, but the fact it's a big old it's a London rival as well.
Yeah, rivals are. I mean, it's happened to Arsenal over the years. I mean, one of the obvious ones, I know they're not in London, but Man United and Arsenal at that time rivals when Van Persie went there. 2012, 22.5 million to Manchester United. I mean, that one was bad. The amount of times Arsenal and Chelsea have done business, but we seem to be getting the raw end of the stick.
Like Carrick went West Ham Spurs, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Defoe.
Defoe, was that direct?
Yep, direct.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, Defoe as well.
Scotty Parker.
No, was that direct? That might have been direct. Yeah, it was direct.
I think it was the last one.
So it happens.
Yeah.
But it looks like Spurs taking all their best players. West Ham's best players.
So we're going to have West Ham fans call up, of course, and moan. And rightly...
Frank Lampard. Oh, that's Chelsea.
Oh, my goodness, Benny. What happened there?
No, because I thought...
What's happened there in your head?
No, but I was thinking...
Lampard?
Like other London clubs taking their best players.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That one would have hurt.
Yeah.
Well, that one did hurt. We know that.
Of course.
Chelsea fans will phone up, understandably, quite irate in just a moment. 03717 223344. But with that kind of money coming into the club, West Ham fans need to see a player coming in for roundabout, if not more, right? Roundabout the same, if not more.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Why are they selling him?
I wondered this as well, because that's a great question, right? And I couldn't get my head around it, because he's definitely one of your best players, right? One of your most creative players, and that's one thing I think that they lack. West Ham is a little bit of creativity. It almost feels like if Jared Bowen doesn't get it done, then who is going to get it done? And the fact that he's going again, we spoke about Paquetá and his situation.
Yeah.
They've got Somerville, who I really like, who's good at Leeds. I wouldn't quite say...
Jared Bowen's top of the list, right?
Oh, yeah, he's the most important. If they lost him, then you wouldn't know what happened. But it's a bizarre one, and that just tells me potentially, if a manager's willing to let one of your best players go, either...
He's the manager.
Right. Either they
he's the manager.
What?
He's the manager letting him go, or the club just going, right, we're going to...
But surely the manager would kick up a bit of a fuss and go, I'm not quite sure it's the right thing to do. But I look at some of their recruitment over the years, West Ham, and I do think it's a little bit... do you know what I mean? Like they signed, obviously, Max Kilman, who I quite liked at Wolves.
Didn't work.
Lack of pace, still there. Somerville, I think, will come good. I think he's a good player. Full crew, had injuries, can't stay fit. One bit of business I did like, they did Wan-Bissaka. I thought he was a real positive.
That's been brilliant. And they got him at a bargain as well.
Exactly. Kudus, 23, 24, he was decent. Edson Alvarez, okay. Ward-Prowse, didn't work.
No, that's a surprise.
Yeah, it didn't work. Mavropanos, terrible. So I just don't think... Calvin Phillips, oh my God, on loan. When I took him on loan, I just don't think over the years their recruitment, even Skamaka, remember him? They brought him in. Nothing. no productivity. I think over the years their recruitment has been poor.
It says a lot about where West Ham are as a club now, right? It's not just selling one of your best players, but selling him to a rival. That's going to hurt the fans.
Someone's come up with a good one here. Freddie Canute, West Ham to Spurs.
Yeah.
So no, it's selling to the rivals is one thing. I get it, but I just think, I think for them to part ways with him, either the manager doesn't like him and doesn't believe he fits the plans, or maybe Kudus has gone, do you know what? Nah, I want out of here.
Where's he going to play at Tottenham?
I mean,
where does he fit into
that?
He's
a left in, so he can play on the right.
Yeah.
And cut in, but you've got Brennan Johnson there.
Yeah, on the left, obviously, got Son.
Yeah.
So you could play just behind, right?
Yeah, you've got Tell that can play left as well, but you've got options. That's the thing, I think, nowadays. I think we look at recruitment and we look at transfers, and I think too often we go, he can't go there because he plays there. But you're like, it's not about that. Like, do you know what I mean?
Squad depth. Spurs have got Champions League football, right?
Yeah, so, Spurs. Yeah, exactly, my point, exactly. So you can't go, for so long we always used to go, they can't sign another striker because Kane's there. No, you need that depth.
Yeah, but that was the problem they had for a long, long time, right? What striker in their right mind is going to go knowing that Kane's not going to, unless he gets injured?
Exactly, but you need that competition as well. And I think by bringing him in as well, Kudus, it just adds to that competition.
We've had a lot of Spurs fans moan and talk about the fact that they don't spend a lot. They're not happy with the amount of money that they spend on players. Obviously, having a pop at Daniel Levy. Would this one please Spurs fans?
I think you still get some of that moan. 100% you will get someone on the air that will say, why are we signing him? He's not good enough.
Okay, I know you don't. If you're a Spurs fan, would you be happy with him?
I like him, but last season would be a bit of a concern.
If they get the one from the season before, brilliant.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But the one last season wasn't good.
Okay. And last question, should you ever deal with your rivals?
Yeah. If they can take one of the best players off around, then yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're taking your calls. Is it ever acceptable to sell to your rivals? 03717 223344. Reminder from 6 o'clock, so 45 minutes' time. We are bringing you what there. I'm Bent. This is your chance to ask Darren Bent any question you like. The bigger the better. Think outside the box. The one about the beach ball's been asked a million times. All you need to do is save our number in your phone, 03717 223344. Then head to WhatsApp, open it up, send us a voice note with your question. Make sure you start your message with Benty and also put your name on it.
plays that villain role very well now. It's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
Driver talkSPORT, it's me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent. Motorpoint, thousands of cars, all unbeatable prices. Head to motorpoint.co.uk for details. Still to come, we'll be joined by super middleweight Hamza Shiraz. Just quickly, Brazil manager, I'm sure you saw this yesterday, Carlo Ancelotti has been sentenced to a year in prison by a Spanish court for tax evasion, but will not have to serve jail time if he pays a hefty fine.
Oh, what's the hefty fine? I think it's over 300,000.
Yeah, he's something like that. Yeah, Ooh. He's paying that, isn't he? Arsenal signed, good work. Have you got a well done round of Arsenal signed Christian Norgard from Brentford, £15 million. Well done, good work. Have you got anything there, Jack?
Guessing your team.
No, well done. Well, good, great signing. You got Kepa, Norgard. Oh, no,
Zubimendi.
Well done.
Zubimendi. Yeah, Zubimendi. Thank you.
No, well done. What's happened to Thingamajig?
Jokeris, he's on the way.
No, yeah, what's happened to him?
He's here, training ground.
Mate, this morning.
Read it earlier.
No, absolute. This morning, stumbling blocks.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stumbling blocks.
Power cut at the training ground. That's why it was there.
And what was that do?
Because obviously testing.
Testing what?
The fitness testing.
You're talking.
Equipment was out of her.
Was it? Right, we're into the business end of Wimbledon. I keep saying that. Time for us to hand over to Lisa O'Sullivan, who's watching everything and anything on the tennis court. Lisa?
Well, after the sizzler of a semi-final won by Amanda Anisimova earlier, the second ladies' battle is, well, it's a bit lacking at the moment. The centre court crowd are struggling with the heat as well. We've had play stop 3 times this afternoon and a couple of spectators carried out by the medical teams. Belinda Bencic has only just found her way into this match with Iga Swiatek, who is crushing it. She is 4-1 up in the first set.
Good work. Thank you for that. Right. We are taking... Oh, no. In fact, before that, let's cross over to Sam Ellard because England were looking quite good, which is something I've not said for a long, long time. That's the third test. They're taking on India at Lord's. To tell us whether or not I'm right or wrong is Sam Ellard. Sam?
No, Andy, you're always right, and you're absolutely bang on the money here as well. England going along very nicely. It's 207 for 4. As Benty says earlier, when Root and Stokes are at the crease, you feel pretty comfortable and relaxed. Don't do this partnership now for the 5th wicket, worth 35 runs. Stokes has got 23. Root's got 74. Played beautifully, reaching another 50 today. They needed to rebuild because after tea, England found themselves 172 for 4. Pope and Brook going in quick succession. Pope trying to drive Ravi Jadeja, the spinner. Took the outside edge, caught by the keeper, then Bumrah bowled Harry Brook with the ball that just angled in towards Harry Brook and hit is offside. We've seen less Bazball today from England. They've been a little bit more watchful today. They played an attacking shot to just 29% deliveries faced so far today. That's the lowest percentage in their first innings of the 39 test matches since Stokes became captain. We're having drinks in the evening session here on day 1, and Andy, if England can get in for the loss of just 4 wickets, it's advantage to England on day 1. India looking for the breakthrough. England 207 for 4.
Sam, I was having a conversation with Andy just off air, and he asked me about Joe Root and is he one of England's greatest ever batsmen? I said yes. Would I be right?
I I would say that isn't even a debate anymore. I think he's England's best batsman by an absolute mile. He is interestingly closing in. He's still got a little way to go on Sachin Tendulkar's record. He holds the record for the most amount of runs in history, and people have sort of worked out that with Joe Root averaging over 50 in Test match cricket, and if you work out how many Test matches England play per year, Joe Root could get there within the next couple of years. And Joe Root's into his early 30s, so he's got lots and lots of time to get there. But yet Joe Root's numbers speak for themselves, and for me there's absolutely no doubt he's England's best batsman of all time, in my opinion.
Sam, I've got a question for you, right? I'm going to ask you a question.
Go on.
It won't make sense, right?
I'm really looking forward to this question.
I was trying to explain something to Billy the other day, and I didn't really have any of the facts. But because you're Mr. Cricket, you might know what I'm talking about.
Oh no!
I don't know if it was men's, women, or I'm pretty sure. No, it was men's, women. No, sorry, men's cricket. Sorry. And there was an incident, but I don't know what level. I'm pretty sure it was in one of these games where, again, I don't know what I'm talking about. But someone hit a ball, and a fielder caught it, but he was running past the boundary, but caught it. 1 foot was touching the floor, so one wasn't. So he managed to catch it and throw it back into the field, and then caught it.
Yeah.
So it was do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. That happens quite often. You're saying the ball goes in the air.
Yeah.
Fielder's looking for it, almost catches it. But as he does that, he's about to go over the boundary ropes. Therefore, he's got to lob it in the air. He goes over the boundary rope, comes back into the field, and then takes the catch. Is that what you mean?
No, it wasn't that.
I think that's what you mean.
It was something like he stopped it going for 6 and went for 4, but because of the way he caught it and pushed it back and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, is that because maybe he was over the boundary rope as he tried to push it back into play?
Yes.
That would be right.
That happened recently?
Yeah, that happened quite recently. Yeah, and there was even, you're right, because there was some talk about possibly changing the rule for that, because they maybe thought, should you be allowed to go over the boundary rope and push it back in? So that's very niche, Andy Goldstein. Very niche.
Yeah, but it sounds a bit better when it comes from Sam. When you come for it, it's all gibberish.
I set Sam up with the open goal and he smashes in. Good work, Sam.
No, we make a good team, Andy, don't we?
Yeah, if Bent is away, I'll give you the call up. In fact,
hold him to that. Hold him.
In fact, when he's here, you might get the call as well.
There we go. Let's make it a threesome.
Okay, there's no for that. Thanks, Sam, for coming on. Let's go. No, he's still there. Joe would have dumped, by the way, on Wednesday, wouldn't he? On or Tuesday. What day?
If Joe had ever heard what you said.
Yeah. Oh, Joe just said when I was listening, he wouldn't have dumped. I think he would. It's easy not to dump when you're on the couch, when you're in the studio. Let's go to the phone lines, 03717223334. We're talking West Ham, Mohamed Kudus, and Spurs, should you sell to a rival, etc. Who's getting a better deal? Alex is a West Ham fan. Is he a happy Hammer? Hi, Alex.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Darren. Great show, boys.
Hi, Bosh, right?
Are you all right? You well?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good.
You boys?
We are great.
We're good, mate. We're good.
What would you like to say, Al?
I'm not too fussed with the that we're selling to Spurs, to be honest. Kudus was poor last season. Didn't look like he wanted to be there most games. The only games he probably turned up in was Tottenham, Liverpool, Man City, your big boys. And 55 million, I'll take it, because if he rotted in our team this year, we'd probably only get 20 million. So I'm happy with 55.
Yeah,
and the fact is Spurs, I don't mind.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, Alex, as well, because I think when you look at the productivity, like if it's someone like a Jared Bowen, that's where you go, I don't care how much money you're offering, unless it's like mind-blowing.
If Mohamed Kudus is worth 55.
Jared Bowen, 100.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100.
You don't, listen.
Every time he plays for West Ham, he scores.
You can't take anything less than 100 for him.
No.
About Bowen.
The guy just scores or assists every single time he steps onto the pitch.
I agree.
This was the same thing.
AJ, I think that is. AJ's a West Ham fan. Hi, AJ. Hello? Is it Al? Oh, it looks like a J. Al.
Hello, Andy.
How are you?
Yeah, all good. All good, thanks.
Good, man.
Darren, you good?
I'm good, man. You?
Sweet, yeah, all good. To be honest with you, I agree with the last caller as well. West Ham are absolutely skint. We need the money. We need to reinvest in the squad and back Potter. So for me, even though it is Tottenham, it's a needs must, you know?
Would it? I know you need to raise funds, but would he been one of the first on the list that you would have sold, or is it one of those where it didn't really matter who it was?
Do you know what it is? We don't really have many saleable assets when you look at it. Like, all of our players are on big money. Like, who really wants Alvarez, Mavropanos? Like, who can we actually sell?
True.
You know, we're in a bit of trouble. So
big season for Potter coming up, isn't it?
Massive.
Absolutely massive. He needs to get off to a good start. I feel like we can do the job against Sunderland first game of the season. We just need to buy well. We need a bit of youth, a bit of athleticism in the middle of the park, and I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, that's the big thing, Al.
AJ.
When Al, that's the big thing Al, about West Ham when you watch them. So slow. Oh my god! I mean, the game that started last season was Chelsea, where Chelsea carved through. I know Jackson's quick, but the way they carved through West Ham, I remember thinking, "What's going on here?"
There's a few managers, right, and Graham Potter's definitely one of them. That this season, something needs to happen.
Your boy's one.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, he's one. He's probably top of that list. I'm not saying some managers have got a free hit, but for argument's sake, Thomas Frank at Spurs, right? New season.
To a point, you say that.
Well, Amron's under more pressure. I'd say Graham Potter's under more pressure.
Massive pressure.
Than Thomas Frank.
Yeah, Thomas Frank is. Yeah, I don't think he's got a free hit though, because I think about Nuno when he went to Tottenham, he didn't get a free ride.
Not a free hit, but I would say the two managers we've talked about, Manchester United and West Ham's as big.
Yeah, they're
Arteta,
huge.
all jokes aside, you putting Arteta in that list?
No, because he's finished second 3 times.
Okay, why? See, look, there's the attitude. I'm asking him, he's under pressure.
No, but why
he's under pressure.
Okay, but why would you Arsenal? Arsenal in a good place.
Because I was going to go from all the way top down through the league.
So, but you started West Ham and Man United.
Yeah,
so go from the bottom.
Because you're opposite me.
Well, do me a favour. Go from the bottom.
I don't want to go from the bottom. I'm going from the top.
No, but don't worry about that. Go from.
Okay, well, Slot's not.
No, go from the.
Who's second?
Go from around you.
No, I'm starting at the top. Slot? No. Your manager?
You're a child. Start from the bottom.
Well, you never do that. Whenever you do your list, it's at the top.
You started with United.
Yeah, I'm going all over the place. All right. There's no wrong or right. It's my list. I'll do what I want.
I've got him.
Arteta?
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
No.
Okay.
No, he's under some pressure because now I need him to win something.
You got to win a trophy.
Yeah, I need him to win something.
Yeah, a trophy.
I'll take a little League Cup or something.
Would you? That's enough, is it?
Well, that's not enough, but I'll take it.
Okay. Still to come, we'll be bringing you What's Happening, Bent. This is your chance to ask Darren Bent any question you like. All you need to do is save our number in your phone. Most of you have got it saved in your phone. 03717223344. Head to WhatsApp. Open it up. Send us a voice note. Make sure you start your message with happening Benty and then add your name to it. We'll do them from 6 o'clock.
See, I'm looking for the list, right, of Premier League teams.
Yeah.
There's only a couple that are under pressure. Everyone else is comfortable.
Really? So the three newly promoted
Sorry, quickly, right. Bournemouth, Areola.
No.
Right. Arsenal. No. Villa.
Well, hold on. Arsenal.
No. Villa.
Hold on. Arsenal.
Villa.
Villa.
No, he's not under. Oh,
no. Emery. No.
Keith Andrews at Brentford just got the job. No. No.
Mate, if they're in the bottom 3 at Christmas, he's done.
No, they'll give him time.
No, absolute garbage.
No,
mate, the players are leaving the club. Norgard, his captain just gone.
Yeah, but he's not under pressure.
I don't know, mate. I bet you he's favourite for the chop. No. You know the manager sack race? I bet he's in that.
Your boy will be that.
No, he won't.
Hertzler, Brighton.
No, not at all.
Scotty Parker, Burnley. No. Maresca. No.
No, not at all. Joe's going nuts. Joe's going nuts now. Look what he's doing to Joe. Look through the window and have a look at his little face. Looks like a little puppy dog in the pet shop going, why have you not bought me? Sorry, Joe. Can only apologise. Keep your calls coming in 03717223344. This is Joe Ovens, talkSPORT. Sorry, Joe.
With Crystal Palace's place in the Europa League still in limbo, the man at the centre of the storm, John Textor, has given his side of the multi-club ownership story live on talkSPORT. It surrounds a UEFA deadline to sell being missed back in March, but he's clear that he believes a breach has not taken place.
The rule's very clear. If you have decisive influence, you may need to consider this. I don't. I didn't. If I had decisive influence, I wouldn't have been trying to sell the club starting in June of 2024.
Textor is, after all, a minority shareholder at Palace, but also a majority shareholder at Lyon. So in his mind, the Eagles should be allowed in the competition. Simon Jordan, unsurprisingly, pulled no punches.
This is stupid from UEFA. This is a stupid set of governance, a stupid set of rules. If you don't want multi-club ownership, then don't allow it in the first place. Palace should be in the Europa League. His financial contribution enabled Palace to sail through choppy waters.
We're expected to find out by the end of the week whether Palace will be allowed to compete in the Europa League. And Owen Farrell has been named on the bench alongside Marcus Smith for the Lions' final warm-up game against a combined Australia-New Zealand 15 this weekend. It's his fourth tour.
You know, he's I suppose lucky enough to play when he was very young, and you need the stars to align, I would have thought, as far as that concerned. When your first one starts, I suppose it allows you to have a look in at that type of thing.
Remember, you can listen to that one live and exclusively on talkSPORT on Saturday morning.
I don't want to win it.
I don't want to win it.
You do.
No, because I'll tell you what, I'll win it and then I'll turn it into someone like you. Arrogant.
No.
You're like John Textor.
No. John who?
Not John Sexter, as you thought. It's Java talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein, the arrogant Darren Bent. Still to come, we'll be having some fun. Best of talkSPORT. What?
Got the ring in the bag.
Let me just tell everyone this. So Darren Bent, he won the talkSPORT like in-house Premier League.
Yeah.
And he went on Amazon and bought himself like a Super Bowl ring.
No, I didn't.
And then hold on. Did you do that?
Did I buy it for everyone?
Did you do that?
Did I buy it for everyone, all the winners?
After when?
Yeah, I bought all
when?
All of them at the same time.
No. After when?
And also
hold on.
No, quickly.
After you won, so you hadn't won it, and then all of a sudden you won it, and then you bought them.
And just quickly, and what did you say to me? Oh, I like that idea.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
you bought yourself a trophy. You bought yourself a trophy.
Why have you not won
so
one
embarrassing.
Why have you not won yet?
I don't want to win it.
People saying you're rubbish now. Like you've washed up.
Name and shame.
And Neil.
Well, that's worth naming. Still to come and have some fun with the best of talkSPORT. But by the way, if you've ever bought yourself a trophy, let me know.
Yeah. I bought a team a trophy.
No, you didn't.
Henry's got one. He's got his two.
Yeah, but you bought them after you won it.
How's he got it?
Yeah, after you won it.
So
here's the thing. You won it. Nothing was about. You went, I need a trophy. You bought one.
I'm not going to lie to you. I bought the ring to shove it in your face.
This sounds wrong. PSG booked their place in the Club World Cup final last night. 4-0 win over Real Madrid. It was here on talkSPORT. Goals from Ousmane Dembele, Ramos, and 2 from Fabian Ruiz means that they will face Chelsea in Sunday's final. In fact, let's cross over to New York now and look back on last night's game with the former Premier League striker, hoping he's found his own suitcase so he's not wearing his kids' clothes. It's Troy Deeney. Hi, Troy.
Hi, Andy. Lovely to hear off you again, mate.
How are you? Are you
do
all right?
some shift, mate. It's great to see you back on again, mate.
Hey, you right?
All good. How are you?
Tell us where you are, because we can see people are watching on YouTube. There's like a big old swamp thing behind you. Where are you?
No, this is Central Park, mate. This is called Lake. You got people just over the back
What
of it
colour's
there.
that water?
See, just rowing romantically. Yeah, it's a bit ropey. I'll be honest. A little bit
dear.
green.
Yeah, that's
We've got swimming
terrible.
in there,
Is
but,
that water? Is it?
Yeah, apparently so.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they're all rowing, having a nice time. Sorry, I'm just getting heckled by some fella there. I nearly chinned him. Anyway, but yes, we're all good.
Okay.
How are you?
Yes, good. I'm hearing lots of people, lots of football fans, soccer, whatever you want to call it, are really enjoying seeing all the big names out there, past and present, and people have enjoyed seeing you as well out there.
He's off, man. He's off.
Yes, it's been good fun. Obviously, we had Bentley still not too happy with obviously the footage that we decided to show some of these soccer fans to get them up to date with ex-Premier League legends like Mr. Darren Bent. He wasn't too happy with that. But mate, all in all, it has been brilliant. You're going to have to save a pretty penny, though, if you want to come out here and really enjoy it. 65 quid I had to pay yesterday just to park my motor, so wasn't too happy with that.
Wow.
But it's been really good fun.
What do you mean park your motor? You hide a car when you're out there?
Of course. We're not getting taxis.
Sorry, so...
Got to look after everybody, haven't I?
So you got the whole trip, flights, accommodation for free, and you're moaning at 65 quid NCP, are you?
Well, actually, we can still claim it back as well. So, I'm just moaning just for moaning's sake.
Very good. Right, let's start with the game last night. It really was a case of men v boys, wasn't it? Were you even surprised at how great PSG were? It looked like they were playing PlayStation football. It was out on the wing, passing to the middle, pass out wide, goal. It was incredible to watch.
No, it was even more impressive in person, if I'm being totally honest with you. Just the speed and the dynamism that they were showing. I think for Real Madrid, again, we know they're fantastic players, massive household names. But for PSG, it's the most complete team. We were speaking to Benty about it after the game. It's the most complete team. You see one team that I think will change the direction of football over the next 5, maybe even 10 years. And you've got a team in Real Madrid that are trying to change the way that they play. Loads of work for Xabi Alonso to get into. But for PSG, and even Chelsea now, you've got to go up against this team. I don't know how you beat them. I really don't.
Troy, I mean, PSG, and we spoke about it last night, I mean, they're pretty much faultless. They were ruthless. They capitalised on every single problem that Real Madrid gave them. But let me ask you, where do you think they can improve? Because every team, every season needs to improve somewhere or get better. How did this PSG team get better?
Well, that's interesting because one of the guys here asked a similar question. You'd probably say they need another centre-half. Marquinhos, obviously, is not the youngest of fellas, but obviously he's got that extra yard in his head. But I would say, imagine if they got like an Isak, an out-and-out striker. Now, that would be frightening. So that would be probably the area I would say. I think the midfield is complete. I think the fullbacks are probably the best in world football. The wide men are the same. So if you had to be really, really nitpicky, you'd probably say a centre-half or an out-and-out goal scorer.
Troy, let me ask you...
And that's mental when you think how many Dembele's actually scored.
Yeah. Let me ask you, I've never obviously played at the highest level. You and Benty both have. I would imagine if you were in one of these squads going into this competition, you might have poo-pooed it and not really given it your all. If that is you can answer that question, but if that is the case, does all of that go out the window when you get to a final like this? Will the players be treating it as they would do a Champions League final, or is that just madness?
No, actually, I think they will be treating it as a final because I think the clubs have put pressure on it. I think it's £80 million for the loser, £100 million for the winner. So just at that level, you have to take it seriously. And with PSR now, we know what that does to balancing the books for every team. But I think at this moment, everyone's taking it seriously. Spoke to a few people at both of the teams, some that have gone home and some that are here now. When it got to these later stages, they're in this wonderful place where they're like, just win it now, we're here, get the job done. I think they're all worried mentally about how they turn this around. In 2 weeks' time, they're back and ready for a new season. So how do you get mentally ready for that? I probably want to ask Benty this as well. I can see a situation where Chelsea don't play a full-strength team for the first month of the season. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of games. My only thing with that, and because it's Chelsea, is that the amount of players they've bought in the squad, how big it is, I think they might be okay. But I don't understand what you're saying because people like Cole Palmer, Reece James, I mean, it's a lot of football. And Reece James has only just come back from injury as well. But I do think they've got the squad to kind of compete on all fronts. So I think they might start the season with their strong team. But maybe the cup competitions that come around quite quickly, the League Cup maybe, and unfortunately, that might take a back seat.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. And then we just had a chat, me and Addy on the depot. We had a chat earlier, and we were saying we can see a situation. I don't know how you guys feel about this back home. We can see a situation where there is 100% an English game being played here. Maybe it be the Charity Shield or something. There's going to be a game here. Because if you look at the attendances they're getting at the moment, imagine if it was a Man United versus Liverpool or Man United Arsenal out here.
The only
It'd be
thing,
massive.
I can't. I mean, the majority of clubs in the Premier League now, I think it's more than 50% are owned by Americans.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they'll be pushing for that. The only problem I've got with that, Troy, is if it was Man United v Liverpool, one of those teams is losing home advantage in a gigantic game, and I just don't know how that would work out.
Yeah. Yeah, I take that point, but I think yesterday in the crowd, especially, it was like 90-10 in favour of Real Madrid. So on paper, it was a PSG home game, but it wasn't like that. It just depends on how many fans you can get here. I just think 100,000, they'll sell it out easily.
Do you think it should
Chelsea
be?
are bringing 70,000. Do I think it should be? I don't think it should be, because I'm a little bit patriotic. I like all our games to be in England, but I do actually think it's just the realms of where it's going. That is fundamentally it's coming, and there's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. I feel like we're sleepwalking to a case where we're getting that Super League quicker than we think.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not enough money in the game, is there? Let's talk about João Pedro. I mean, he was brilliant for Chelsea. Absolutely fantastic. Is he their number one striker now? Does he have to start on Sunday?
Yeah, on Sunday he has to start. It absolutely has to start. I think he offers something completely different. I think with Nicholas Jackson, again, he's probably found himself third choice striker now. I think with Liam Delap, I still think he's got a lot to learn in the position, and Betty can talk to that probably better than me at that highest level. I think he's missed a step. I think go to Ipswich and being in that relegation battle, and then having to go and take a team that plays the Champions League, trying to be the England team for the World Cup, and then getting Chelsea in that top four. I think he's missed a step, and I think João is the most complete out of all three of those.
Yeah, I like João. I like the way he moves with the ball. I like the way his vision. He's got that flair. 2 great goals the other day. But if Chelsea are, Troy, going to get something out of this final and win it, and we are talking about them beating PSG, who right now are firing on all cylinders, how do you think they're going to do it?
Hope for a red card. Maybe 2. That's the only way. I can't see a way in which they beat them. I can't see a department in which they're better than PSG at. Again, I'm happy to be proven wrong, but just looking at it for the cold heart of day, I just can't see how they beat them.
Okay. Troy, listen, thanks for coming on. What are you doing? The game's Sunday, so what are you doing between Thursday, Friday and Saturday? What are you up to?
Well, today, mate, we're going to do a little bit of touristy stuff. So Central Park, Brooklyn Bridge. Might even go get a little bit of a massage later as well, because it's been a really hard couple of days. So I need to loosen myself off. Tomorrow, I am going to do absolutely nothing. The day after that, I'm going to do absolutely nothing. But I might actually do a little bit of work somewhere in between.
Okay.
Try to get yourself the Stadium Goods or Round 2. If you want a good pair of sneakers, they're the shops for you. Round 2, Stadium Goods.
Quick question. Are they giving discounts? That's what I need to know.
I heard that. Come on, Arsenal. I heard that.
I don't think
he doesn't think they're going to win the league either. That's fine.
Troy, listen, it's always a pleasure. You look like you're having a whale of a time out there, but you're doing great stuff for talkSPORT. So keep up the great work. Enjoy your few days off, well earned, and we'll speak to you sooner rather than later. Thanks, pal.
Yeah. Cheers, lads. Appreciate you all. See you later.
Thanks, man. There you go, Troy Deeney. Tough life, isn't it?
And out there for a week, New York.
Honestly. And look, he's got nothing to imagine. You and I out there now, right? We should have gone. I don't know why we weren't, but imagine you and I out there, right? Thursday afternoon, nothing to do now.
Round 2.
Do you know what I mean?
Stadium Goods.
You and me going to them trader shops.
Guys, look at the Yankees Stadium.
Goodness.
I'll take you to Harlem. Good place.
I don't know if I want to go to Harlem.
Why not?
I think I'll be scared.
Why are you scared of?
Don't know. It doesn't
Why are you scared of?
I'm scared of everywhere in New York, Benny. Don't turn it into that. Still the come on drive. Scared of places in London as well. We're going to hear what Hawksby and Baker are discussing with no Premier League football to talk about.
I have bought some slippers.
From 6, we'll be hearing your voice notes.
What's up, Benty?
Oh, that is appalling.
Terrible. And we'll bring you the latest transfer rumours in Drive's car boot sale.
Yeah, Max.
Yeah, all that loads more coming up in the final hour. Drive and talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent. Yes.
plays that villain role very well now. It's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
Andy Goldstein Darren Bent, Motorpoint, Newcastle, same-day driveway available on all cars. Book a test drive today. Still to come, we'll be hearing your questions in What's Happening, Benny. Just quickly, Owen Farrell has been named on the bench for the British and Irish Lions final warm-up match. Before the test
how many games do they play?
Australia, thousands of them. It's the final day of the third test between England and India. Watching for talkSPORT is Sam Ellard. Sam!
England 226 for 4. This partnership now worth 53 runs between Joe Root and Ben Stokes. Root's got 81 to his name. Ben Stokes, who has been short of runs, not out on 32. There was a big LBW appeal a few moments ago on Ben Stokes. Nitish Kumar already going around the wicket. Ben Stokes coming down the pitch, looked to flick it into the leg side, hit him on the pad, given not out on field. India did review it, but it was umpire's call, and just possibly there a slightly worrying moment for England fans. Ben Stokes calling on the physio. He was stood with his hand on his thighs and looked in a little bit of pain. We hope not a reoccurrence of that groin injury. He is back out there batting at the moment, so we obviously hope that that's absolutely fine. It doesn't cause him any problems. He's out there, he's not out on 32. Joe Root has 82 runs to his name. We've got the new ball coming in about 7 overs time. England 226 for 4.
Good work as always, Sam. Right, time now for this. Yes, this being the best of talkSPORT and Friends, we run you through some of the recent highlight moments from across talkSPORT and our sister stations. Should we start off with last night's sports bar, O'Hara Cundy? Here are the boys giving a thoughtful response to the question. Right, yeah? You won't be in a minute. To the question, after eating 74 hot dogs, who would win a 100-metre race? Usain Bolt or World Championship eating champion Joey Chestnut?
You almost swallow the hot dog, don't you? I've seen it. I've watched the hot dog tournament, the world final.
They can't do the bread as well,
they
can
do,
they?
No, they eat them. Yeah, it's like they get 2 hot dogs and they just like a seagull.
Dip them in the water, yeah.
Bang, straight down. Gone. Yeah, you know, like gone.
Like a seagull.
I think Johnny might win, you know.
There's a great documentary with David Blade on one of the might be Amazon. He goes all around the world. He meets I think the world hot dog eating champion. He tries to tell because they get the hot dog in the bread and they dip it in the water and they go straight down. There's an art to it.
Is there?
You can call it an art. Who's your money on for that race? Usain Bolt. Joey Bolt. It is, yeah. How would you get on in an eating competition?
Depends what I'm eating.
Hot dogs. How many hot dogs do you do? How many Big Macs could you do in one sitting?
Oh, maybe 1.5, maybe.
Was that all?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you could go for it.
No.
When's the most full you've ever been after a meal? I don't know how you meant to remember that.
I mean, what's the most full you've ever been? Well, obviously, would you want to ask me when's the most full you've been?
Okay, when's the most full you've ever been?
I remember going to back in the day, this Chinese buffet. You know them buffets where
all you can eat.
Keep
going back.
Keep going up, man. Sweet and sour chicken.
Gluttony.
It is, because you keep eating, even though you know you can't get any more. You're trying to get value for your money. So you just keep going back.
No good. The boys will be back on the sports bar at 10 tonight. Get your calls in 0371 722 333. Don't get your calls in now. It's a little bit early.
On to this morning's breakfast show where Colton Cole was alongside Alan Brazil. Here's Big Al giving his musical opinions on the grime star Skepta.
Here's number 2.
That's not me. Act like a waste man, that's not me. Any girl, nah, that's not me. Lips any girl, nah, that's not me.
That's not me.
I used to wear Gucci.
It's not me either. One.
Pants. If you was at the stage of me, I'd get you rocking to that.
No, you would.
You would be dancing with the beer in your hand. You'll be saying, "There, that is me."
No.
You'll be saying, "Yeah, that is me."
That's not me.
Oh,
No,
God. All right.
Jesus, shout out Skeppy.
Skeppy, wasn't he a kangaroo?
No, he did my house party before. I told you, Skeppy.
Yeah, before he was famous yet.
Yeah, trust me, the cost. What would your grime name be?
I don't know. You come up with a grime name, probably like Gold Star.
You'd be like
Gold Star.
Eject. AJ.
Eject.
No,
Eject.
AG. You're AG.
So just my initials.
DJ A. No, MCDAG. That's
DAG. Dag.
That's rubbish.
Yeah.
What are you like?
I don't know. Gold Top.
Yeah, there you go. Gold Top.
You like that?
Yeah. Oh, Goldie.
Yeah, there's a Goldie already. Yeah.
What's your least favourite genre of music?
Country and Western.
That might be a country and Western.
Do you?
If you could pick any artist from history to see live in their prime, who would it be? Oasis.
Anyone, the Beatles.
Okay, yeah.
I think that'd be unbelievable.
Not Michael Jackson, though.
No, I don't like Michael Jackson.
Right.
Why do you like him so much?
Because he's unbelievable. Greatest entertainer ever.
Well, that's not true.
Well, it's fact.
No, it's not fact.
And of course,
I can moonwalk. Even if you're on the moon, you don't walk backwards.
Can you?
You don't move.
Can you?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Not in these shoes.
And of course, the breakfast show returns from 6 tomorrow morning. Big anniversary party. I could do that.
But no one walks like that on the moon.
Yeah, they are dancing.
So do. No, all right, I've seen Neil Armstrong. If you believe it happened, he didn't walk backwards.
He did.
When Neil Armstrong walked backwards.
No, because he ain't got that. When Michael went up there, he did it. That's where he got it from.
Schmeichel. Let's finish with yesterday's Hawksby and Baker show. Here's Charlie talking about a remedy for his injured toe.
For my arthritic toe, I have bought some slippers that you put in the freezer. Really? Frozen slippers. Not let it go. Are you supposed to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently I was googling it. Frozen slippers. Have they got Elsa on the front? Have they got a little picture of Elsa? I don't want to build a snowman. Yeah. The other joke you can do about frozen slippers is I was going to buy a pair, but I got cold feet.
Hey.
Sure, if you've got a bad toe, you don't need the whole surrounding area of the toe being frozen, do you? Slippers, just get a little. Now, what's the strangest remedy for an injury you've ever had?
I told you, my grandmother. Rare nephew, white rum. Any problem, stomach problem, put it in whatever you're taking, white rum. Bit on your face, white rum.
What do you mean a bit on your face?
So she used to say, put a little bit, like the cap, the cork, get it in your hand and splash over your face.
Wash it.
Wash your face with it, honestly. Rare nephew, white rum.
Did it work?
Yeah, I mean.
You just can't remember it the next day.
Bit of a cold, lemon, told ya, ginger, white rum.
Hurt your ankle?
White rum.
Got a headache?
The same thing.
Yeah, you're going to get a headache with that. For the best bits of TalkSport, you can download the TalkSport Daily Podcast. You can also, from Monday, download a brand new podcast with me and Cundy called 21 Minutes to Go. There's a demo up now.
Don't know one listen to that.
Mate, that's going to be big. 21 minutes to go. And don't forget to download the TalkSport app where you can swipe between TalkSport and TalkSport 2 and all of our other sister stations so you never miss a moment. Talking of never missing a moment, let's get an update from Wimbledon. Watching for TalkSport is Lisa O'Sullivan.
Belinda Bencic has nothing to offer in this second ladies semis final. Iga Swiatek absolutely cruising, 6-2, 4-love, serving 40-30, and it very much looks like the former world number one will be making her first Wimbledon appearance in the ladies final on Saturday. Bencic really is completely out of luck here, and she's heading out of Wimbledon.
Thanks, Lisa. Right, just quickly, a bit of breaking news this evening. Spurs have triggered a £60 million release clause for Nottingham Forest Morgan Gibbs-White. TalkSport's chief football correspondent Alex Cook joins us a bit later on in the show for more on that.
How more? Because he was unbelievable last year. How if it's only 60 million a release clause?
Why has no one
else triggered that?
Well, so they've triggered it so they can talk to him. They haven't bought him.
Okay, but why has no one else done that?
No, I know, but now everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
So any other club will go, oh,
he was in talks with City though, so fair play. If Spurs get over the line as well.
£60 million, good value for that, right? Yeah, that's big. As I say, TalkSport's chief football correspondent Alex Cook joins us later on in the show for more on that. When we come back, my goodness, it's flying by today. Benty.
With Crystal Palace's place in the Europa League still in limbo, the man at the centre of the storm, John Textor, has given his side of the multi-club ownership story live on talkSPORT. It surrounds a UEFA deadline to sell being missed back in March, but he's clear that he believes a breach has not taken place.
I'll admit to not even thinking about the issue. Of course, I have to. But I also read the rule, so please read the rule yourself. And like everybody's talking about it like it's so obvious. The rule's very clear. If you have decisive influence, you may need to consider this. I don't. I didn't. If I had decisive influence, I wouldn't have been trying to sell the club starting in June of 2024.
Textor is, after all, a minority shareholder at Palace, but also a majority shareholder at Lyon. So in his mind, the Eagles should be allowed in the competition. Simon Jordan, unsurprisingly, pulled no punches.
This is stupid from UEFA. This is a stupid set of governance, a stupid set of rules. If you don't want multi-club ownership, then don't allow it in the first place. If you've got documentation that details that the construct of a shareholders agreement or the principles of which they operate shows no decisive influence, then ignore the shareholding and look at the reality of what you're staring at. Palace should be in the Europa League. His financial contribution enabled Palace to sail through choppy waters.
Textor is in the process of selling his stake, but he did reveal that he initially wanted to buy a majority stake in Palace. So what does he think of current chairman Steve Parish then?
His ambition every year is to avoid relegation. Our ambition is to climb the table. Who thought we could go from bankruptcy to winning South America in 2.5 years down there? I mean, that was crazy.
We're expected to find out by the end of the week whether Palace will be allowed to compete in the Europa League. And Owen Farrell has been named on the bench alongside Marcus Smith for the Lions' final warm-up game against a combined Australia-New Zealand 15 this weekend. It's his 4th tour.
You know, he's, I suppose, lucky enough to play when he was very young, and you know, you need the stars to align. I would have thought, as far as that concerned, when your first one starts, I suppose it allows you to have a look at that type of thing.
Remember, you can listen to that one live and exclusively on talkSPORT on Saturday morning.
Back to last hour drive talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent.
Let's make it a threesome.
Oh, you've ruined it now. You've ruined it. See?
No, carry on.
No, I can't do anything. 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. No. Oh yeah, is that? Still to come. We'll get more Gibbs White imminent move to Spurs. But first, Usyk against Dubois. It's just over a week away, and it's live on talkSPORT.
Round 5. Good right hand, but that was low, and you can see that it has hurt Usyk because he is now onto his backside.
That weren't that low. That was a body shot. I'm telling you, I looked at that. That was on the waistline. Them shorts were high.
We got conned out of that. VAR, if you can have it in football, bring it in boxing.
Down goes Joshua. Dubois hits him with a tremendous right-hand counter.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Dubois giving Big Benny Miller a Brooklyn beat down against the ropes. Alexander.
Tyson Fury was out on his feet.
Oh my
Out
word! That
on
left
his
hand.
feet.
London is like my home.
Prepare for the greatest victory in boxing.
A wonderful night for Ukraine.
From Ukraine, Alexander Zeka.
Hey, whoever made that package, this tune.
Beating half days. Next Saturday, talkSPORT brings you live commentary of the undisputed world heavyweight title fight between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois, live from Wembley Stadium. British heavyweight Dave Allen will be part of our expert boxing team and will keep you up to date with all the action from the start of the fight right up until the final bell. For all the very latest, just head over to the dedicated talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. That's going to be an unbelievable night.
Can't wait for it. Honestly,
Dubois looks gigantic. He posted a picture yesterday on Instagram. He is massive.
Massive. Dubois, that's what I'm saying.
But we've seen well-built boxers before, look like bodybuilders. Yeah. AJ went through that. I remember Frank Bruno looked like that as well. And sometimes they're just too big. But he looks like he's perfect.
He's
for
only
him.
27 as well.
You love him, don't you?
Yeah, I like just the confidence. Like, I wasn't sure about him when he got beat up by Joe Joyce and he stopped. I thought, oh. But the way he's come back and the way he just completely completely destroyed AJ. I'm like,
was it Tyson Fury a couple of days ago that was on social media saying the way he thought Usyk was unfair, he thought he won one of those fights.
Yeah.
And last fight, he was like literally slinging all over the ropes, wasn't he?
Was that the first fight? There was one. I think the first fight was when he was doing the electric slide.
Got knocked down in the first fight.
Yeah.
But do you remember he was like all over the place?
Sliding across the ropes like that. Electric slide. Mad.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Right, time now for this.
Benty, what's up?
Oh, Benty, what's up?
What's up?
What
Benty?
It's a good one. Yeah, it's time now for What's Happening, Benty, where we give you the floor to ask former Burton Albion striker, Loney, Darren Bent, anything your heart desires. When you were on loan at Burton, who were you on loan from?
Derby.
And were they paying your wages?
Yeah.
Derby paid them?
Yeah.
So what did Burton get you for?
Yeah, but a little bit.
Burton paid a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Oh, okay. It's tough and it's find 90 grand a week. Right, also I've been asking you to send some questions. Are you ready for the first one?
I am
Let's
indeed.
do it.
Benty. All right, boys. Shane here, United fan. I've been on a few times over the last couple of years. What is your biggest regret throughout your football career? Take care, boys. Keep up the good work.
That's a good question.
I tend to have the regrets in football. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing I look back and go, like, do you know what I mean?
Any transfers that did or didn't happen?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say regrets. I mean, maybe probably the one when I went to Fulham, and that's not regret me playing for Fulham, but I went there on loan for a year and I had 2 permanent offers on the table from 2 separate clubs, Crystal Palace and Newcastle, both 3 years. And because I was there, I opted just to...
So you chose to stay on loan at Fulham rather than go to Newcastle?
Rather than sign, Newcastle was a tricky one because for Sunderland, but the Palace one with Ian Holloway, that's one I look at and go, But listen, I don't have regrets.
Are there a lot of players that have played for Sunderland and Newcastle that can't be, right?
I think maybe a couple, maybe a few.
Not a lot.
I'll be able to, if we sat down and had a good think, we'd have a look.
Okay. Good question. Thanks for that. Right, on to the next one.
Benty, if you were sent back in time 500 years into the past, no clothes, no technology, nothing, just you sent back 500 years into the past, how would you convince anyone that you're from the future?
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I mean, because he said no technology, because I would have travelled back with a phone and gone, look.
Here's a question. All right. What year is it? It's 2025. What's 500 years ago?
Oh, I'm not doing all that maths nonsense. 1525 probably.
Jack says 1525. Is that right?
No. So I have to go back to 1525.
Simple as that. Okay.
I don't know how to convince people.
So you're going back to 1525?
Yeah. I mean, if I can't go back with any clothes, nothing, I'd probably say, listen, in the future, this is going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, for you to prove future events have happened, you'd have to know your history. And you don't.
No. But also as well, by the time I've tried to prove these things to the people about the future, like, I could be gone.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
What, living in 1525?
Yeah, so no technology is a difficult. If I'm going to just take back one piece of technology.
Yeah. Do you believe time travel exists?
No.
You don't?
No, because someone would have figured that out.
What? And we'd know because they would have come back to us.
To tell us, yeah. We'd figure out how to go back in time. But I've always heard that you can't go back. You can only bend time.
Yeah, like a millisecond into the future.
Yeah, so then that's how you get like certain parts of the timeline is like. If you watch Interstellar, you understand what I mean, but you haven't watched it. But I think you can
explain it to people.
I think you can bend time, but you can't like go back and forth.
You know, Interstellar's not a documentary. It's not real.
No, but it's real people in it with real footage.
What do you mean real people in it? What, actors?
No, actually real footage of stuff that happened there.
No, there isn't. Of course there isn't.
Great film though.
Yeah, but it's not real. Well, then bending time in Interstellar.
I know it's.
All right, so why are people going back to Interstellar? Would that convince them?
No, because just watching it, you get a grasp of what it means, like in terms of like the black hole and stuff like that.
And that's all.
What they talk about is fact in there, but the film's fictional.
I'm not sure that's true. Right, let's move on to the next one.
What's up, Benty? Paul from Matlock here. I'd like to know if you could be any cartoon character in the world, past or present, which one would you be and why?
Great question.
He-Man.
Straight in with He-Man.
Adam of Grayskull, 100%.
Grayskull,
yeah. That's what I said.
By the power of Grayskull.
No.
Yeah.
By the power, no.
By the power of Grayskull. I have the power. That was it.
I am Adam.
Find it. Find what He-Man used to say.
I am Adam, Prince of Eternia.
Yeah.
Remember his Battle Cat?
But that's what he would say. By the
but Battle Cat.
She-Ra.
No, Battle Cat. What was it? Before it got strong, what was its name?
Battle Cat before was.
Yeah, Cringer.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was by the power of Grayskull. I have the power. I have the power.
Yeah, Adam. I used to love He-Man. I'm surprised they didn't make a film. Dolph Lundgren played it.
It was
cool.
awful.
No, it was good.
It was awful.
It was unbelievable. Courtney Cox in it.
I'll tell you one of the worst films ever made from a cartoon ever.
Go on.
Flintstones.
Yeah, I only watched it a handful of times. But
a handful of time.
But that
hold on. What you only watch the cartoon or the film?
The film.
Why more than once?
As a kid. But that Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
With Dolph Lundgren was unbelievable.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is, mate. I still watch it now.
How did they get away with the cat? The what's it called?
Cringer. There was no Battle Cat in it.
What? They did the whole movie about Battle Cat?
No. There was that Man of Arms in there. Teela was in there.
What about Skeletor? Who's Skeletor?
He was in there, some fella.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right. And what about She? Was she in there?
No.
Okay.
Great film, though.
No, it's not great. It's not great.
It's great.
Here's the problem. I say Goodfellas, great film, and you poo-poo it, and you come out with He-Man.
Yeah, good film. Yeah, go on, Karen.
Time for the next one.
What's happening, Benty? And Goldstein has done it in the last minute of extra time. Oh, I say it's a lovely goal from Darren Bent. Lovely goal. But what I want to know is, who's your favourite ever sports commentator? Lovely.
I think that's meant to be Barry Davis. Was it Barry Davis or John Watson? Either way, it's very good.
Probably Gorilla Monsoon, probably.
What's the question? Your favourite ever sports commentator?
Gorilla Monsoon.
Gorilla Monsoon?
That's his name.
That's got to be wrestling.
WWF. He was unbelievable.
Why? What sort of
the King Jerry Lawler. Oh, these guys are unbelievable.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
they're not. They just shout though.
Are they sports commentators?
Well, no, because WWF or whatever it is not a sport.
I like Gorilla Monsoon, man. He's my favourite.
It's acting.
It's not acting.
Well, it's pre-planned before.
So how do you act? How do you break your neck?
Okay. Answer
that. People
have broken their neck on stage.
Okay, but that's not acting.
I know, but it's pre-planned. You understand that?
What, the neck break?
No, the winner's pre-planned. I've seen Hulk Hogan talk about that. It is,
but no, but they can change it because that's what happened to Bret Hart. He got that stiffed. And
what's stiff mean?
Like he was supposed to be champion.
What's the word you're looking for?
No, I can't say it in there. But he basically got robbed.
Shoved?
I was going to say shafted, but I can't say it, can I? Sure.
No, shaft is fine, yeah.
Yeah, Bret Hart. And they changed that without him knowing.
Oh, okay.
So, it's not just acting. But no, Gorilla Monsoon was unbelievable.
Gorilla Monsoon? Is he still alive?
I'll have to have a look. I'm Gorilla Monsoon. Oh.
Why was he called Gorilla Monsoon?
I don't know.
Well, you need to find out.
Incredible.
I think Ted Lowe would be one of the best.
Okay, nice.
The green ball is very close to the cushion.
Snooker.
Oh, that's legendary. Peter O'Sullivan, he was amazing.
Okay.
Some great commentators. Great question. Right on to the next one.
What's up, Benty? When you recall a memory about one of your goals that you've scored, when you recall it, do you think back as first person so you can see yourself scoring the goal? Or do you actually picture it in your mind because you've rewatched it on the telly and you replay that in your head, but from a third person?
That's
great question.
Great question.
Do you know what I often do? So that when I'm watching Milan play football, or I'll go and watch the boys play football, I'm working at a stadium. I will look at the pitch and I can picture a goal that I've scored on that pitch. The dynamics of the pitch. Do you know what I mean? So even
actually on the pitch?
Actually on the pitch, I just can see myself scoring a particular goal.
Yeah.
And so I do look back as me, not as third person, not me actually in that position, but me watching myself score that goal.
When you see, what's the greatest goal you hit? That volley from 40 yards or whatever, right?
Okay, yeah.
When you see that, when you imagine that goal.
Yeah, I'm watching myself do it. I'm not in the motion.
You're not in the moment.
No, I'm watching myself do it.
Okay, it's a great question. It was.
Yeah, it's
I have to get the next one out. It's a brilliant question.
What's happening, Benty?
It's Matt here in rugby. What I want to know is, would you rather not be able to wear trainers ever again, or not be able to watch your beloved Arsenal ever again?
Unbelievable question.
I wear flip-flops.
No. You're going to not wear trainers, but you're going to wear Red Wings.
I wear Red Wings. Can't watch Arsenal. I have to watch Arsenal.
Yeah.
Can't not watch Arsenal. Absolutely not.
Okay, what would you hate to put on your feet?
I don't really like Birkenstocks.
Okay, so Birkenstocks or Arsenal?
I wear the Birkenstocks. So if I can wear Arsenal, I'm watching Arsenal, yeah.
Okay. Good work. Is that the last one, Joe? Good work, everyone. Round of applause for the WhatsApp. We can only do that when you send in great and every week you don't disappoint. Yeah, well done, Jack. Well done. When we come back, I would imagine between now, is it next that our chief football correspondent, Alex Cook, will be joining us? It's the one after that. But when we come back, we are talking about movers and shakers. One possible mover could be Morgan Gibbs-White, who has a release clause of £60 million. It's been triggered by Spurs. So we'll talk about that, and Alex Cook joins us as well. Lots coming up in the last 43 minutes of Drive on talkSPORT.
He plays that villain role very well now. That's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent, Mo Point Thousands Cars. All unbeatable prices guaranteed. Head to mopoint.co.uk for details. Still to come with John Alex Cook for the latest transfer rumours and chat. Arsenal have signed Christian Norgard. Well done. That little round of applause there. £15 million from Brentford. Good signing that. Arsenal going to get over the line now. Have you got a round of applause for them? Yeah, Jack. We're into the... Well done. Good work, Mikhail. We're into the business end of Wimbledon. Someone needs to come up with another line. Watching for talkSPORT is Lisa O'Sullivan.
Iga Swiatek has demolished Switzerland's Belinda Bencic to get through to her first ever Wimbledon ladies singles final. The match a real anticlimax with the 2018 junior champion losing just 2 games. The 6-2, 6-love win was over in just 71 minutes. Swiatek will take on Amanda Anisimova at 4 o'clock on Saturday, doing battle for the Venus Rosewater dish. The American had a very different afternoon, an absolute sizzler on centre court of 2 hours 37 minutes to get past the world #1 Arina Sabalenka. Now tomorrow at 1:30, Taylor Fritz will take on Carlos Alcaraz in the first of the men's semi-finals, with Jannik Sinner taking on Novak Djokovic in possibly the match of the day.
Well, I can't wait for that. It's going to be amazing. Thanks, Ace. Right, the first day of the third test between England and India at Lord's is underway. Watching for talkSPORT is Sam Ellard.
Well, we've just had a 5-minute stoppage, Andy. We're all sitting around waiting. Well, what's going on? Why is play just stopped? Wasps stop play at Lord's. You couldn't write this stuff, could you? Ladybirds, sorry, I apologise for everybody. Ladybirds stop play at Lord's. We've all literally, Andy, been standing around for 5 minutes because of flying insects here at Lord's. You just couldn't write it. We're finally back underway. England 245 for 4. This has been a good 5th wicket partnership. Ben Stokes, she's been short of runs, has 39 not out. Joe Root 5 runs away from another test match 100. Will he get it this evening? Just 7 minutes left to play here on day 1 at Lord's. England winning the toss, choosing to bat first, 247 for 4. Let's hope there's no more wasps or ladybirds or flying ants around St John's Wood.
There'll be lots of flying ants, can't get rid of them. Right, time now to get the latest action from Switzerland with our friends at McDonald's.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. The new and iconic Big Arch has landed at McDonald's, featuring an unbeatable lineup of juicy beef, cheddar cheese, and its very own signature sauce. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
And of course, the Lionesses got their European Championship back on track last night with a 4-0 win over the Netherlands. It was a must-win game for England after their opening game defeat against France. Their boss, Serena Wiegmann, spoke to talkSPORT's Courtney Sweetman after the game, and she, of course, was delighted with how her side handled the pressure.
I'm really happy with the performance, and especially because it shows what the team is about. Bounce back from France, very hard game. And a loss, and then you have to win this game to stay in the competition, and we have not been in this situation before. So we reviewed France. We had conversations with the team, and you could tell in training that they really came together and tried to and wanted to do really a lot better than France. But then still you need to show that on the pitch, and that's exactly what the team did. Exploit spaces, harmed the Netherlands where we could harm them, but also the high press. What we did really well, and even if the long ball would come, then we defended that really well too. So this was, as what the players said, the proper England.
Now, we had the day off yesterday. Well, I had the day off because, of course, the game was on live on talkSPORT. I was on the golf course enjoying the sunshine. You were in here watching the game alongside Jordan Nobbs. How much better was the performance?
Yeah.
Can I say, so on the back of that, I was listening to talkSPORT, I think this morning, and they were talking about, was it this morning? Doesn't matter. They were talking about, was it just the case of England was so much better this time around, or was it the case that we were playing a weakened side? Right? What do you think it was?
What about Netherlands?
Yeah.
No, I think England started the game well, like they did against France.
Yeah.
But couldn't maintain it, whereas they kept their foot down on the accelerator against the Netherlands. Score goals at the right time. I mean, Lauren James's first goal was incredible.
Yeah.
And I just think they were the better side. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Netherlands were appalling. They played like England played in the first game against France. Didn't get any kind of service to Miedema. She was up there, one of the best strikers in the world, got no service. But England just kept their foot down. They kept pressing the Netherlands, and the Netherlands kept trying to play out from the back, couldn't do it, and England just knew that. And every single time they picked up the second balls, they took their time. kept composure, kept moving the ball really, really well, and they thoroughly deserved the win. It was a really good performance from England, I thought.
That's it. It was in the group of death, right?
Yeah.
We've got Wales next. We should smash them.
But you know what? Jordan was saying to me, Jordan Nobbs, who I've been working with, when people kept talking about the group of death, she was like, and she said this from the start, she was like to me, I don't know why people keep saying that. Yeah, France are good, but Netherlands are just, like, they're a good side with good players.
Well, maybe it was the group of death for Netherlands.
Yeah,
right, but not for us.
No, because she was just like, I don't understand, because Wales, first major tournament, so that shouldn't be a problem. France are a good side, yes, but the Netherlands are always like, she said, kind of almost not flat to the sea, but they're not as scary as some people make them out to be. And obviously last night when they played against England, that showed. But really, really good performance from England. Some stand-up performances.
You've seen France, you've seen Spain, who are just mind-blowing. Do you think England have got a chance of retaining it?
Spain's the one.
Spain's the one. Do you know where? I'll put you on the spot. Do you know where we meet Spain?
No.
I suppose it depends where we come out of the group, right?
Yeah. I mean, if France win, because France are currently on 6 points.
Yeah.
And France, last game, they've got the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So that should be a good game for France. But I expect France to win that. They've looked really impressive.
Yeah, me too, yeah. Okay. That was all thanks to our friends at McDonald's.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. The new and iconic Big Arch has landed at McDonald's, featuring an unbeatable lineup of juicy beef, cheddar cheese, and its very own signature sauce. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
Now, just before 6 o'clock, I gave you the breaking news that Spurs have triggered a release clause to get Morgan Gibbs-White for £60 million. It looks like the deal's done already, would you believe? Let's get more on that when we come back with talkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, will be joining me and Benny on Drive on talkSPORT in seconds.
With Crystal Palace's place in the Europa League still in limbo, the man at the centre of the storm, John Textor, has given his side of the multi-club ownership story live on talkSPORT. It surrounds a UEFA deadline to sell being missed back in March, but he's clear that he believes a breach has not taken place.
The rule's very clear. If you have decisive influence, you may need to consider this. I don't. I didn't. If I had decisive influence, I wouldn't have been trying to sell the club starting in June of 2024.
Textor is, after all, a minority shareholder at Palace, but also a majority shareholder at Lyon. So in his mind, the Eagles should be allowed in the competition. Simon Jordan, unsurprisingly, pulled no punches.
This is stupid from UEFA. This is a stupid set of governance, a stupid set of rules. If you don't want multi-club ownership, then don't allow it in the first place. Palace should be in the Europa League. His financial contribution enabled Palace to sail through choppy waters.
We're expected to find out by the end of the week whether Palace will be allowed to compete in the Europa League. And Owen Farrell has been named on the bench alongside Marcus Smith for the Lions' final warm-up game against a combined Australia-New Zealand 15 this weekend. It's his 4th tour.
You know, he's I suppose lucky enough to play when he was very young, and you need the stars to align, I would have thought, as far as that concerned. When your first one starts, I suppose it allows you to have a look in at that type of thing.
Remember, you can listen to that one live and exclusively on talkSPORT on Saturday morning.
I don't know if Alex should just go out to shower, or maybe he's got a swimming pool or jacuzzi in his garden, but we'll cross over to him in a minute. Very bizarre, he's looking. In fact, if you've got YouTube, now's the time to go see him. Mopping his browies at the moment. We need more than that. We'll cross to Crookie in just a moment. A reminder, following us at 7, Max Scott hosts the Transfer Insiders. Right, it's all over. Day 1 at Lords as England take on India in the 3rd test. Sam Ellard can confirm everything I've just said and more.
And I think England will be happy with where they're at the close. Winning the toss, choosing to bat first, 251 for 4. Joe Root at the close, 99 not out. Ben Stokes, to ironic cheers, started to have a bat this morning. England lost 2 wickets in quick succession after the drinks break. Duckett and Crawley. Ollie Pope and Joe Root then batted the whole of the afternoon session without losing any wickets. India then picked up 2 wickets in quick succession after tea. Ollie Pope for 44, trying to drive Jadeja through the offside, took the outside edge, a catch behind, and then Harry Brook was bowled by Jasprit Bumrah. But the 5th wicket partnership for England was a good one. It's worth 79 runs. Ben Stokes, who has been short of runs, holding the innings together, 39 not out. Joe Root unbeaten on 99. Can you believe it? 1 run short of 100. A different kind of approach for England today. Less Bazball. They've had to dig in, going at just 3 runs and over throughout the day. So it's been a good contest between bat and ball, but I think England have just edged day 1. Root goes to the close, 99 not out, and when England resume tomorrow morning, they'll be 251 for 4.
Good work as always. Thank you for that. Right, time now for this.
Oi, what you got in your boot, mate? £50 million? You having a bubble?
Matthias Cunha scores from a corner.
Have that one for free, mate. Been trying to flog it for years.
And Bruno Fernandes has popped home the free kick.
Anyone for a new centre forward?
Low ball in towards Delap. He's tucked it in.
Drives car boot sale is now open. You mugs.
Yeah, your mugs. It's our daily transfer feature. Drives car boot sale, where each day we'll be exploring who's picking up a bargain and who's getting mugged off. Talking to mugs, I'm delighted to have on the show. Can only apologise. He's not.
What's he looking at?
I don't know. I mean, if you're watching on YouTube, it's something for the ladies. It's talkSPORT's chief football correspondent with wet, damp hair. He's mopping it off as we say good evening to Alex Crookie.
Good evening, boys. You know what? I've just got out of an ice-cold shower, having done a 5K run in 32-degree heat while listening to Benty say that he wants to be He-Man.
I'll tell you now, he ain't ran no 5K. Liar.
Oh,
Show me the watch.
You know I've been trying to get fit.
Show me the evidence.
What was your time?
Show me the watch to the screen.
It was slow today. It was about half an hour today. It was too hot to go any quicker.
Not bad.
Ain't bad, that,
Not
Cookie.
bad at all, Cookie.
Well, my PB at the moment is around the sort of 27.5 mark. So, yeah, a little bit slower than I have been going. But I'm trying to get fit. I'm trying to get the beach body. There's a long way to go.
Damn right, there's a long way. Right, listen. You're looking good. Keep up the great work. Listen, let's talk about this sort of breaking news. In fact, let's see what's first out the boot today, Cookie.
Gibbs White with a flick on at the near post. Goalkeeper missed it, and it's in off the bar.
Yeah, this broke just before 6 o'clock. talkSPORT understands that Spurs have told Forest that they will trigger the release clause for Morgan Gibbs White for around about £60 million. Tell us more.
Yeah, I've got to say, this is one that has accelerated very quickly over the course of this evening. As you say, it wasn't that long ago that we first heard of the interest from Tottenham in Morgan Gibbs White. I know previously Forest had been asking for £65 million plus for Gibbs White. Had such an impressive season, helped them into Europe for the first time in a long time. Then we found out, we got it confirmed by our sources at Spurs, that actually Tottenham were triggering a £60 million release clause in Gibbs White contracts, and that a medical has been scheduled to take place as early as tomorrow. So it looks like this deal is advancing. Clearly Morgan Gibbs White has given his blessing to Spurs to go and trigger that release clause. I heard you speaking earlier and wondering if maybe somebody might come in and try and hijack this. We know Manchester City were interested earlier in the summer, but that one seems to have gone cold. And I think if they can get this done, Tottenham, that's another really good piece of business for the Europa League winners. Obviously hot on the heels of Mohamed Kudus and agreeing a £55 million deal with Tottenham. I can tell you I've got a lot of messages from angry Manchester United fans saying, how come Tottenham can get two such big deals done in the space of a few days, and Manchester United still struggling to meet Brentford's asking price for Bryan Mbeumo?
That's the thing, Crookie. When you talk about the release clause for Gibbs White, I look at 60 million and I think that's not enough for his quality and what he showed last year. I think 60 million is almost a bargain, but you just said it there. There were talks with him and Manchester City, or there was a rumour that Man City were in for him. Why do you not think anyone else has tried to trigger this 60 million release clause?
Well, release clauses are a funny thing, actually, because they are kept under wraps, and it's not really a done thing for even agents to go around and tell people what the release clause is. So it could be as simple as the fact that maybe this release clause has gone under other clubs' radars. Manchester City have obviously spent their money elsewhere, and they've been busy in this summer transfer window already, so maybe that's why they've not followed up their interest. But in terms of what you were saying about Gibbs White, not only is he a great footballer, I think he's a real leader on the pitch as well. And maybe one of the criticisms of that Tottenham team at times last season, particularly in the Premier League where they lost so many games, was they didn't have many leaders. So I think Thomas Frank will see that quality in him as well. And then you look at the pure statistics, 7 goals, 10 assists in 34 Premier League games. I think he's certainly someone who's going to come in and bolster that Spurs attack, and obviously make the squad deeper for an assault, not just in the Premier League, but in the Champions League as well.
Just a quick one off topic, Crookie, because obviously if he goes to Spurs, Gibbs White, and then you've obviously got Elanga going to Newcastle, what's going on with Forest? Because they're in Europe this season as well. All their best players are going. What's happening there?
Well, that's always a danger when a so-called smaller club, and I don't mean any disrespect to Forest fans when I call them that, when they punch above their weight, as they did for much of last season. Let's remember, they were 90 minutes away on the last day of the season from perhaps themselves getting in the Champions League. Obviously, bigger clubs are going to take note of your players, and clubs like Tottenham can offer more wages than what Forest can, and they can offer Champions League football. Same thing is happening down at Bournemouth, where they had such a good season, flirted with the European places. Dean Howson has gone to Real Madrid, Milos Kerkez to Liverpool. Every chance of Barney goes to PSG before the end of the summer as well. So I think it's just the natural order of things. Forest know their place in the food chain. I know they're very excited down at the City Ground about one player they've signed already, Igor Jesus, the Brazilian, who's done so well over the past couple of years, not just for Botafogo, but he's been in the Brazilian national team as well. So they will reinvest. What we know about Evangelos Marinakis, and it's my understanding he's handling a lot of their business personally this summer. He's an ambitious owner, so as difficult as it will be to replace Elanga and Gibbs White, two of their star men from last season, he certainly will put his hand in his pocket and try and source those replacements.
Cookie, just going back to Morgan Gibbs White, I know, of course, you need a squad, especially if you've got Champions League football, but when everyone's fit, I'm guessing Morgan Gibbs White is going to play in that James Maddison role, right? So does he start over Maddison? Can you see them both playing in the same team?
It's an interesting one. I think Maddison is a player who maybe will benefit from the change of manager, because it was pretty clear even before he got injured towards the back end of last season, missed the Europa League final, that he wasn't really Ange Postecoglou's cup of tea. Obviously, Gibbs White can play coming in from the left-hand side. He can play in the number 10 position that you mentioned that Maddison prefers to play in. But it's competition for places, isn't it? And Tottenham need that, because Postecoglou said even after winning the Europa League, he made the conscious decision in the January window that if they weren't going to get reinforcements, he would have to target the Europa League over the Premier League. I'm not sure that necessarily makes up for the fact that they lost at home to Leicester in those round of 22 defeats. But if they struggle to compete in the Europa League, in the Premier League, then the Champions League is a different beast altogether. They've got Paris Saint-Germain to play in the Super Cup in the coming weeks. Good luck with that.
All right, let's see what's next out the car boot.
What a chance! England score! Jordan Henderson out of nothing!
I bet that was hard to find, wasn't it?
Yes, so Henderson, obviously, the Dutch club at Ajax have agreed to end his contract a year early. Crookie, for me, I look at Jordan and I think, look, the obvious place is Sunderland, obviously newly promoted back to the Premier League. Can you see that one happening?
Listen, I think it'll be a good piece of business for them. I've been quite impressed with what Sunderland have done so far in the window. They spent a lot of money, but largely on younger players. I think you need experience in the Premier League. Jordan,
sorry, did they sign a Dingerer? Did I see that?
Yeah, that's gone through today.
Yeah.
£21 million plus add-ons. That could be an exciting signing. You know, I think on his day he's certainly got potential. Maybe didn't show it consistently enough in a Brighton shirt. It hasn't been great for them for the past 18 months or so, but could still be a shrewd signing for Sunderland. But Henderson will bring that experience. I also think if he's going to come back and join any club in the Premier League, and there won't be scrutiny over his move to Saudi Arabia, which I think is still upset a lot of people in this country, then Sunderland is probably the one club that you can guarantee is going to be welcomed with open arms.
When you say that Jordan Henderson has left Ajax after they agreed to end his contract a year early, why does that usually happen? Because he's got a move lined up and they're thinking, well, he's done well for us, we'll let him go, or because they're done with his services?
I think it suits both parties because he was one of the highest paid players. I think they needed to trim the wage bill. He obviously wants to get back to the Premier League because he wants to be in Thomas Tuchel's squad for the World Cup next summer. I think he's had a new lease of life when it comes to international football since the appointment of Tuchel. So I think this was just one of those rare deals in football that actually it suits both sides. And he'll be walking away from a lot of money, Jordan Henderson, to terminate his contract. So fair play to him.
Right, there's one more rumour left in the boot. Let's see if there's a deal to be done.
Gyökeres trying to turn and does so beautifully to score goal number 4.
Now, of course, Arsenal fly at the moment. They've already signed Kepa and they've got Norgard.
Yeah, great. And Zumamendi.
And so what's happening with Victor Gyökeres? Because it looks like that one's been stalling.
I'm always a bit cautious when reports come out of Portugal at this time of year saying that a deal is stalling, because I think there's a fair amount of brinkmanship at play. When we broke the story over the weekend that Gyökeres' camp were confident of a deal being done with Arsenal, that a 5-year contract had already been agreed, I got the sense that this was close. I think that is still the case. Obviously, there's always room for negotiation in any transfer. And sometimes I think fans who get a bit frustrated when there's a delay on deals like this don't necessarily understand the complexities of a transfer, particularly when you're talking about an asking price of €80 million. I still think Victor Gyökeres gets done for Arsenal. And I think maybe this is just an attempt by Sporting to use the Portuguese media just to apply that little bit of pressure.
Just before I let you go, what's going on at United? You got anything positive, Crookie?
Well, again, I've had a bit of stick for this because when I was on holiday a couple of weeks ago, sources close to Brentford were telling me that they were anticipating that a medical would take place last week. Therefore, they were expecting to come to an agreement with Manchester United. The two clubs still aren't far apart. They haven't been for some time. But at the moment, it does seem to be slow. But again, it is only July the 10th. United want to get Mbeumo signed up in time for their pre-season tour of the USA. And again, I think this one will happen. I almost feel like it has to happen because Manchester United are looking around at their supposed rivals. I don't really know where we put United in the food chain at this moment in time. We talked about it. Tottenham, having won the Europa League, doing big business this week, spending well over £100 million when you put the Kudus and the latest deal together for Gibbs White. Man City have gone big already. Liverpool obviously have signed Florian Wirtz and Milos Kerkez. Arsenal are starting to get active, and Manchester United are in danger of being left behind. Newcastle have got a deal in place for Anthony Elanga, and they're one of the clubs that United would have designs on catching this season. I think if I was Ruben Amorim, to get to July the 10th. They're 4 days into training for most of the non-international players. A lot of the internationals like Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot return today. To only get one new face in the door when you finish 15th in the Premier League, and you've still got this elephant in the room in terms of the likes of Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho and Anthony that you're trying to shift, I think he'll be disappointed that Manchester United haven't been a bit quicker off the mark.
Embarrassing. Crookie, listen, we'll let you get back on that treadmill, right? You're not done for the day, are you?
I am done for the day. I'm going to have a nice gin and tonic, slimline tonic.
Okay, it's nice. Have you got a plunge pool, or whatever it's called? What they call the cold?
Yeah, like ice bath.
Ice bath. You got one of them?
No, I just had to make do with a cold shower. I'm not quite as rich as Benty.
Okay, well, we get one, right? What you want to do, fill it up with ice and then put a tiny bit of vodka in it and then some Coke. It's lovely. Crookie, thanks for coming on. Have a lovely evening.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, pal. There you go. That was Drives Car Boot Sale.
Plays that villain role very well now. It's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
see. It's your drive on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein, Bent alongside a Motorpoint Newcomer same-day driveway. Available on all cars. Book a test drive today. Friday night at 7. Max Scotty Scott, host of the Transfer Insiders. He's got Rory Jennings alongside him. One more Billy's in the studio. He's had a haircut.
Hello.
It's taken years off you.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
Oh, in fact, on the subject of that, I've just had a text from your mum. Will you be ready to be picked up straight after the show finishes at 7?
Yes, I'll be there. Thank you.
How has your week been?
Really good.
No one cares, Bill. I've told you that. I don't like the way you're threatening him with a rolled up bit of paper. Yeah, I can see it with my eyes.
Because you're a liar.
Bill, was he threatening you with a rolled up bit of paper?
Bill, my friend, you snitches, yeah?
Yeah, he is actually. Yeah.
Take it off him. What day is it? Thursday?
It is Thursday.
Anyone pubbing?
Feels like a weird day
Anyone
today,
pubbing,
doesn't
Joe? You pubbing? Little drink in the pub. I've got to go home, girlfriend. Got a big hole under the top of my head where her thumb goes. What are we doing for the end of the show quiz?
It's all about Wimbledon, because Wimbledon's happening.
Stop, wait. We can hear the noise. That's not good for the radio.
You're saying in a minute, you in the deck. Karen, Bill.
Why him and Troy? You're Troy. I'm going to smash someone's face.
It's you. You're the common nominator in this.
What? I'm a common what?
The nominator.
Who's saying that? I'm the one and only one. I'm the only one. I'm the one and only. Do you remember that song?
Karen, Bill.
Don't remember.
Do you remember that? No, fine.
Bill.
Andy, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Wimbledon's fastest ever serve was recorded.
Sorry, no attention music. Jack's been away for a week. He's forgotten the buttons, has he?
Fastest ever serve at Wimbledon was this year.
150 miles an hour.
153.
Yeah.
How long would it take that serve to go around the world?
Oh, that's an unbelievable question. Have I got options?
Do you want options?
That's an unbelievable question, Bill. Yeah, of course I do.
2 hours, 6 days, 14 months.
6 days.
It is 6 days.
Physically, he's so hench.
Thanks.
Benty.
That's a great... Who wrote that, you?
Yeah.
Or Meta?
I had some help.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
DB, go on.
Benty, how do they keep the pigeons away at Wimbledon? Do they use a hawk? Or do pigeons just hate the smell of tennis balls? Or is there no pigeons in the Wimbledon area for some reason?
Great question.
I'm going to go for...
I know the answer.
There's obviously pigeons there because Wimbledon Village is not that far of the park, so there's obviously pigeons. So what was the other two?
A hawk or pigeons just hate the smell of tennis balls.
You hit me with that hawk.
Is that?
It is a hawk. It's called Rufus.
Is it really?
I was Rufus. Is he alright? You know.
He's at Wimbledon, keeping the pigeons away.
Is he alright, Rufus spoke to him?
Yeah, he's alright.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's give him a message.
They keep all of them away, the pigeons. It's a bit of a coup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up, Andy.
Do you want a quick audio round?
What?
Quick audio round.
Oh, you've done a bit of production on this, have you?
Well,
go on then.
Let's guess the grunt.
Oh, great. So, hold on, I used to do this show.
Yeah,
you nicked it, right? Guess the grunt.
No, it's not,
exactly what I used to do.
It's not quite that game.
Or Bjorn, right?
Yeah. No, I'm just going to play you a grunt. You have to tell me who it is.
Okay.
And you go first. I know that one, you know.
Is that mine?
Yeah, I think I know that.
Is that your question?
I'm gonna
Shut up.
Do you want some options?
Yeah.
I know it is.
Federer, Nadal, or Alcaraz?
Yeah, I know exactly who that is.
Nadal.
It is Nadal.
Yeah, straight away.
Very good.
You used to have that.
Pardon? I was just turned on the radio at that time. Has Benny got some grunts?
Yeah, you got some grunts. You ready, Benny?
Go on.
Oh, yes!
It's made better with oh yes at the end.
The first and third one in that.
Okay, Jack, can I get that again, please?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yes!
Is it? I've lost it now. Djokovic, Murray, or Federer?
I know that is.
Murray.
Yes, the Scottish one.
No.
Oh.
Djokovic.
Big Jock.
He does that thing. He turns a grunt into like a
yes!
point.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, fine. 1.5 minutes left, Bill. They better be good.
Your next question.
Yeah.
2 million strawberries get eaten every year at Wimbledon. But what is Britain's favourite fruit according to a poll?
Great question.
I'd imagine it'd be apples, but go on.
Is it the strawberry? Is it the apple? Or red grapes?
It's got to be an all year round fruit. So slap raw strawberries out straight away. I know you can get them all year round, but you just don't eat strawberries in the winter.
I do.
Grape. It's got to be the apple, Bill. You've chucked grapes in. You're not clever enough to put grapes in, so grapes.
No, strawberry.
Oh.
Let's make it a threesome.
Rubbish.
Got that completely wrong.
Yeah, you did a little bit.
Is it strawberries?
Apparently so, yeah.
Okay.
Benny,
Can't get him in the winter.
No, I said that you don't eat them at the winter.
Benny, how many balls get used in the tournament at Wimbledon each year? 3,500, 25k, 54k.
3,500.
It's got to be a big number, Bill.
54,000.
It's got to be a big number.
Every
you know what
year.
they do with them?
No.
They smash them all over the building.
Oh, okay.
Do you want one more?
Yeah, you've got time. One more, yeah.
Andy, the longest tennis match ever took place at Wimbledon in 2010.
I can tell you the score.
Oh, okay. That was kind of... John Isner v Mahout.
Yeah, what's the question?
What was the score in games in the final set?
Right, it was either 70-68 or 68-66. So I'm going to go 70-68.
It was 70-68.
Now that's
Very well
unbelievable
done.
knowledge.
Very good.
You like that?
We probably told you before it started.
No, of course he didn't.
He's snitching.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
very good, that.
Let's go out on that.
Yeah,
Don't forget his
that
question.
one, Bill.
Don't forget his question.
All right.
Everyone, I want everyone to turn off this show going, Goldstein's a genius. They do that anyway, to be fair, between 4 and 7 weekdays, don't they, Bill?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Not probably, Bill. Well, you're literally another show bites the dust. We're back tomorrow at 4 o'clock to do more of the same. Benny's just about to beat Billy up.
Anyway, you can lock off the cameras for 2 seconds.
Have a good evening. Be safe, everyone. Be safe.